Hello, noble ones. Thank you for being here. Hello, hello. Doing well, Nicholas. How are you? Welcome, welcome. Yeah. Thank you, Baron. Yeah, music down. Music is back. Oh, kaboom. I thought you were saying back rooms. I do play back rooms a lot. I'll give you that much. Hello, hello. Greetings from Puerto Rico. Hey, Gabriela Bianchi. Welcome. Your surname is Italian. I appreciate that. Okay, so welcome, noble ones. Derek and Am on Twitch says sweet N64 sweatshirt. Yeah, I love this. Also because after we are done with this, I'm gonna have to go film a video for my gaming channel because I've just received a new 90s computer setup, and I've already installed Heroes of Might and Magic 3 on it, of course. So I'm gonna keep the shirt for it. From Sweden, hey Henry Henriksson. Man, I love Sweden. I'd love to be able to visit one day. Maybe take the wife. Do I still do martial arts? No, not really. I wish. No time, to be fair. Alright, so let me see what we have got. Just one moment, please, and I'll read the super chats, of course. I want to thank you as always for that. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining the stream. So I want to say thank you to John Doe for supporting the stream. If you want to understand this conflict, look at Jimmy Dore and or Ryan Dawson. That's actually exactly one of the things I'm asking, is to ask you for people to watch, because one of the reasons why I decided to talk about this a little bit with you today is because I'm here to learn from you, in the sense that I know there will be the usual person that will come here and say, stick to history, stop talking about this. And yeah, thank you. You may leave and let the adults talk. But regardless, for everyone here who is, understanding and is not like getting offended immediately and that kind of stuff, I'm actually here to learn from you, and I would like you to explain to me, because of course this is a big deal, and this is something that was brought up during the live stream yesterday. So yesterday I was live, as you know. It's just that we were talking about different topics, and then someone brought up the attack that happened, whereby Israel bombed Iran in some, the way I understand, tactical targets, but you'll tell me more about that. Thing is, though, that people in the comments asked me to talk about it, but I didn't want to talk about it. One, because it wasn't the topic of the stream, but most importantly, because I didn't know anything about it. Therefore, I guess I could have started to try and figure out what was going on, but I didn't want to misinform. I didn't want to talk about something without having even the modicum of knowledge of what was going on. So instead, what I did is that yesterday I avoided talking about it, even though it would have been better from my algorithm perspective, because if I had changed the title, put a different thumbnail, it probably, the views on that VOD, and regardless the attendance of live stream, since it was literally happening, would have boomed. But I don't do that. I don't like to optimize when it comes to search engine, if, however, it's something I know absolutely nothing about. So there is that. That's why I decided not to take advantage of that yesterday. But then after the stream was over, I decided to actually go and watch videos. So I watched quite a few videos on this topic. And I also prepared a few videos today to show you the kind of content that I've been watching, so that we can see what you think about that. But I'm also here to learn from you, because I think some people don't want creators to talk about these things because they think they know it all. Well, if you do know more than me on this topic, I'm here to learn from you. And the only thing I would ask of the chat today is let's maintain facts over feelings. I understand it's a very emotional discussion, as any war is. At the same time, however, if I see people spamming the same content over and over, screaming death to X, or put spamming flags all over the time, yeah, your comments will be ignored. And if you continue, I will have to block you. I hope I don't have to do that though, because as I say, if you really, really know a lot about this topic and you really think you can teach me, then this is your opportunity. Explain, tell me what you're in a rational way based on facts, logics, and reason. Let's discuss the facts, and then great. Obviously, I would like to start by saying this, which is the same thing that I did what was it, a year ago when the first conflict started, and I made a public post on my X account on Twitter, where I do sometimes cover topics that are more political in nature. And the one thing that I said that I'm going to say, as you know, I'm a moderate, which means I will say the obvious for anyone who is not a monster, meaning it doesn't matter on the ethnicity involved, it doesn't matter on the people or flags. I always feel for the innocent lives. So when there are military targets and there is war between countries, that's a different matter. That's war and that's military. But I always feel, regardless of who it is, for those populations that are displaced, for people losing their homes, for people losing their loved ones. I feel for that. And if you are watching from any area that is either interested or is surrounding and so it's in danger, please be safe. And I really hope that you and your family and your loved ones are safe. And I always pray mostly for the children and for the innocents that are unfortunately always involved in conflicts. With that out of the way, let's have a look at the super chats, and thank you for being here. Yeah, exactly. Q Bandon says innocent civilians always lose, and I feel for that. And I think that if anyone who rejoices for the loss of life of innocent civilian and children needs to have a look at the mirror and understand that at that point it doesn't matter, even if you had a reason, a logical reason as to why you had chosen one side or the other side or neither. If you're getting to a point where you're rejoicing or something like that, like I've seen some TikTokers posting some despicable stuff, at that point I'm like, yeah, I think the propaganda's got you. So at that point, let's maintain civility and decency. If someone is innocent, if someone is a child, I really pray for their safety. Military operations, that's different. You can have your position, you can have your ideas, and a lot of these, in fact, for those who say stick to history, a lot of these conflicts go back thousands of years. And unfortunately, this is an area of the world that it's outside of my area of expertise, meaning that if you want me to talk about I can talk about the Roman province of Judea. I can talk about how it was before it became a Roman prefecture and what happened after it became a Roman prefecture within specifically the context of the province of Syria, the Roman province of Syria. I can talk about that. Although I'm not against the idea of using resources and putting together the team and producing a video about the actual historical evidence behind the conflicts that occur in this area of the world. I'm not against that, of course. It would be, once again, facts, facts, facts. No feelings involved. The only feelings that I want to involve is, as I say, when they have to do with the innocents, because that is always something that I pray for you. And I don't care at that point if you're Jewish, if you're a Jew, if you're a Palestinian, if you're a Iranian. Politicians, I have my strong feelings about, but an innocent child is an innocent child, and I hope that you're safe and you're fine. And that's where it's going to go. All right, let's have a look at the chat. Thank you for the support. Appreciate that. Let's have a look. If you want to, okay, I read that. Thank you, Marcus, for becoming a member of the channel. Very much appreciated. Today, we're going to have big chunks of this live stream that will be where the chat will be focused on members because it's Friday, but there will be also plenty of moments where the chat is open to everyone, like right now at the beginning. Baron says, think a good way to start is ask for some pro-Israel sources and ask for some pro-Palestine sources. That way you can see. Absolutely. Very good point. In fact, you'll see that I've got some tabs here and you'll see what we're going to talk about. Although then again, today we're mostly talking about Israel and Iran because this is the breaking news. But sure, the ghost, I'll be quite honest, trust no one close to these events. The fog of war is thick. Yes, during this time, and propaganda is full swing on both sides. Absolutely. John Doe, a breezy politics is another good source. Thank you. I'm also writing all of these down, by the way. Philip, let's just agree that this is horrible. Yeah, war is always horrible. I agree with you. This is a failure of our leaders and incident. People should not be suffering any of this, no matter which side. Absolutely, Philip. Yeah, I can see that. That's pretty much the moderate audience that I expect to find in a moderate channel. Although then again, as I say, I know some of you are confidently conservative, some of you are confidently liberal. No problem, as long as you're decent, okay? Then I don't have a problem with you, 100%. I'm a moderate. Some of my takes are definitely right-leaning. Some of my takes are left-leaning. Here we are. Eric, thank you. Look up the 12 verse. It explained Iran vision of the bomb. Okay, thank you. And Oasis says Netanyahu was the one that lied in U.S. Congress in the 02. Well, I don't know anything about that, about Iraq holding. I don't know what that means. Oh, weapons of mass destruction. Thank you. The consequence now Iran when they do not disclose their own nukes. Yeah, the nukes thing is always scary, to be honest. It's just one of those situations. And then Matt says, so are we going to have another crusade? Oh, goodness gracious. But instead of swords and horses, it will be ARs and tanks with blasting sabot. Well, we'll see. Hope not. But then again, war is war. Thank you guys for your support and for sharing your opinion and for being here. Okay. So let's see. Pick a side, son. I always pick a side, by the way, on a lot of controversial topics. I'm not a fence sitter. Just wanted to make sure, because a fence sitter is when you have a controversial issue and they say, I don't know, both sides all the time. I don't know. That's a fence sitter. I take definitive stances. It's just that I don't take a stance based on tribalism, because that would mean that I would have to choose a side and always agree with that side and always disagree with the other. Instead, I look at the situation, I review the evidence, I review the science, I review the analysts and the data, and then I say, on this issue, I actually agree with this side. On this other issue, no, they got me convinced. So unless you present a stronger argument, I'm going to agree with them. That's what I do. So I'm not a fence sitter. I take definitive stances, and I've done it. I've done it. I mean, look at even other topics that have to do with history, like when I strongly took a stance against Afrocentric positions on certain issues of historical analysis. You know that I take my stances very strongly. It's just that I take them not because of sides, but I take them because of, well, I've reviewed the freaking data. And that's my understanding of the data. So if you can debunk me, I'll change my mind. That's how it is. So yeah, let me see. I don't really need this right now, do I? So let's leave these out, although I kind of like the colors of my, yeah. Yeah, so Gazala says there is various political content creators who cover this conflict extensively. You can start by watching their videos. I already watched quite a few videos. Like yesterday, I was watching this a lot. Also because, regardless of what kind of topic you cover usually on your channel, this is something that could affect us. So it's important to have a look at okay, but what's going on? I'm not going to be the type who is like, blah, 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 blah. That's not, I talk about Rome. I don't care about this. Well, no, I do care. I want to know what's going on. So yeah. Is history happening now? It is. Yeah. Let's see. Tiny Wonder says, I didn't realize my other account wasn't following Meta. Had to switch to this one so I could comment. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah. The reason why I put the limitation of you've got to be a subscriber to comment is because people will see the thumbnail, and you'll have to give me that. That's a pretty good looking thumbnail that I made right there. People will see the thumbnail that don't know anything about this community, don't know anything about me. They will just come here and start spamming stuff. So in order to avoid that, I added this limitation. I hope you don't mind. Right. Okay. Click on the live clip. Let's watch it. I don't think there is much to watch. I'll also have to be careful while I click because I don't want the stream to get blocked. But yes. Thank you, Eric Jackson, for your support. It is written in Genesis 49:012 that Judah is a lion. The operation is called Rising Lion. Coincidence and things. No, of course it's not a coincidence. The lion is coming into power. Yeah, it's not a coincidence in the sense that Jews know the Bible. obviously. So I imagine that certain names that they give to operations, clearly they're going to take it from that. Obviously, yeah, sure. That's not a coincidence. Absolutely not a coincidence. Yeah. Thank you, Domenico, for your support. And so I'm going to show you the thing. As long as the Israeli settlement continue Iran and its proxies will keep attacking its which many of the Israeli side refuse to acknowledge. Look up more on this scary. Yeah, no, I will. Absolutely. I don't know anything about this specifically, so I'm not going to comment on it. But yeah, I appreciate, of course, you sharing your opinion on the topic. That's why we're here. Yes, I am a moderate Landsknecht, and I hate extremists. They piss me off, particularly when they're toxic. I get a bunch of those in the comments, so yeah. Yeah, John Doe, I do hope this does not become yeah, you say Iraq 2.0, let's not fall for it. Yeah, I just hope that that whatever war just started doesn't lead to World War 3, of course. And then yeah, that's obviously what I hope. That's a good point, MJS, and I would absolutely agree and stand with you, regardless, when you say, I'm just sad for common Iranians. Absolutely. The regular population, regardless of whatever you think about the politicians, and because, I mean, some of the stuff that the leaders in Iran have said about the West and about Israel, but as someone who lives in the West, I'm more concerned with those. I hate them. I hate the statements. I'm like, what? But then again, I have nothing against the regular people. Such a research of vibrant people, absolutely roiled by 20th century in the clergy with far too much power. Yeah. I mean, I don't know anything about the clergy, but I will say, yeah, I really hope that I know that some of the bombings involved the main city. And by the way, as for what I can see, they retaliated already because there has been some bombing in Tel Aviv. Same situation. I hope civilians are fine. I really hope the civilians are fine. Don't get exploded their house and stuff like that. Like, that's horrible. Absolutely. So yeah, I was keeping this just to have an idea what we're dealing with. Just keeping this on the screen for now. Yeah. Let me see. Okay, yeah, I think I reviewed all the super chats for now. Don't want to be disrespectful to people who support the stream. I really appreciate that. Also, this is the beginning of the stream. I'm going to start talking about this. It's not going to be the topic of the entire stream, though. So at one point, we'll switch. Yeah. You say the West is an empire of evil. I disagree. I think the West is great. I love America and I'm proud to live in America. So I will disagree with you on that. Sorry, but that's that. Actually, sorry, not sorry. I actually made a post about it on I was gonna say Twitter. So I'll show it later. It's about flags and something that I'm gonna live by on this because yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, if well, you're entitled to hate whoever you want. You hate the West, that's fine. I guess it's your freedom. But I don't. I love the West. So there is that. Oh yeah, I live in America. Genghis Khan says the man himself is in the chat tonight. Look at that. Yeah, I moved to America 3 years ago. I am a legal resident, and I'm an immigrant. And yeah, I love America. That's where I'm at. So if you don't like America, fine. Yeah. Praise be to Pompey, says Baron. So we always raise our hands whenever that happens. Thank you so much. Yeah. You're a gamer? Me too, my friend. Absolutely. Congrats on your move to America. Thank you so much, Noah. I'm happy to be here. ICE is coming for me? I doubt it. I pay my taxes really well. I don't think they have a problem with me. In fact, I know they don't have a problem with me because the government did reach out and send me a letter and they told me that I can begin the proceedings to become a citizen. So yeah, I'm good. Of course, taxes paying is not the only problem, and your comment is stupid. I just mentioned one thing. Obviously, that's not only the problem, but I am a contributing member of society. I'm a respectful immigrant. I respect the country where I moved into, which is a very important aspect when you move in any country. And by the way, if you have strong ideas when it comes to immigration, I'm an immigrant. And I've been for a big chunk of my life. I immigrated in the United States. I immigrated in the UK. I immigrated into Japan. Never had problems because I've always done it legally. I've always followed the law. And I've always been a contributing member of society that went to another country with respect. So I am, of course, I have a beautiful Italian flag that is going to be always in my office because I love my country. I love my heritage. I love my history. And my kids, who will be Americans, will be taught to be, I will create a strong tether and connection with Italy and our country and our culture. However, my American flag is going to be flown proudly outside this house because I honor the country where I'm moving in. And that's the type of immigrant I am. So there is that. But I don't want to talk about immigration today. I've already done it last stream. Already talked about it. Conservatives won't like that. Why not? I don't think conservatives have any problems with that. But then again, why would they not like that? You might have to explain that because I've never heard a conservative complain about that kind of statement. But then again, done it legally equals have the money for it. No, Purple. Done it legally means, and let me tell you this much, done it legally means that I worked hard to save the money. I'm not an idiot. So I worked hard to save the money and I spent it. And I waited a year and a half being separated by from my wife because I wanted to follow the law. If you don't have the money, you can't afford something, you can't have it. This does not apply to refugees. Of course, refugees, it's a different situation. They're running away from bombs and things, that's different. But if you want to immigrate into a country, by the way, you don't need a lawyer. You can try without a lawyer. It's just that you have to study then. You have to study how the process works. I know that because I've done it 3 times. So you have to study it. You have to learn how to submit the papers. You have to learn how to write and fill everything in and hope that you don't make mistakes. But you can study. If you don't want to study it, then you have to save money to be able to pay a lawyer to enter a country legally. And that's just how it is. It's a system. They did background checks on me. I welcome them. Absolutely. Got nothing to hide. And that's important also to see who is coming into your country. Once again, refugees is different. Refugees is different. But don't make it like, oh, you were rich. No, I worked hard. My family was not rich. Never was rich. So yeah. Dude, you don't have to defend yourself. You have all the cards. You're right, Daniel. You're correct. But just wanted to answer that because people have this weird idea when it comes to these topics. And someone even told me, you shouldn't speak about this. And I'm like, I'm an immigrant. Who, if not me? I mean, excuse me. That's cool, man. Well said. Thank you, Jay. Appreciate that. Gamer channel? Oh, I do have a gaming channel, but it's the other one. It's called Metatron's Protectorate. Yeah. Thank you, Liu Bei. Oh, there are a few super chats. So let's not be disrespectful to people who are being generous. Let's go. All right. So, Hibiki, thank you for the support. Understanding the current geopolitics of this issue requires looking first at colonialism, then at post-World War I European carving up of the Middle East and North Africa, and then President Eisenhower's foreign policy. It's a lot. No, yeah, I'm very willing to look into everything that you mentioned. I just hope that it's not one of those situations. Again, thank you for the support. It's just that these days people blame colonialism for everything. So to me, that's a little bit of a red flag, but not you. Maybe this is a situation that has to do with this. And of course, this is a deep topic. I agree. And yeah, but I appreciate the support. The Ghost, 2025 has been the most insane year. Yeah, there's been the threat of nuclear war. Yeah, true. 6 months. Yeah, I know. I hope not. But yeah, absolutely. Concept, love from, wow. Liechtenstein. I don't know how to read your country, but thank you. Love your content. Thank you so much. Thank you for this support, Bear. Liu Bei, it should perhaps be emphasized that this is a conflict between Israel and the Mullah regime. Okay, the people of Persia are tired of barbaric Islamic rule. I actually love this name. I love. They should totally go back to this name and ditch Iran as a name. I think Persia, Prince of Persia, much better PR. The murder people every day. Yeah, a silent majority longs for an overthrow. Yeah, sure. I mean, I understand that absolutely. I have nothing against people who are like regular people who just want to live their lives. Totally. I hope that the whatever happened, the toll of innocent civilians is as low as it can be. I always hope that, regardless of the conflict. Thank you, Philip. Leaders in powers always try to radicalize and control what people think, yeah, because it makes the masses easier to control. 100%. That's why when they try to control the story, we understand as reality and don't care how they live the world. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, sure. That's why whenever I watch, like I watched quite a lot of things and leaders speaking, but I always take it with a not a grain of salt, a mountain of salt. In fact, it's pretty bad for my heart, all of that salt that I have to use. John Doe, thank you. Jute dissonance is another source you might want to consider for this conflict. Totally. I remember there was this guy that was doing these like military analyses, like tactical analyses, and he was like former military, and I thought he was doing great, but I don't remember the name of the channel. Damn it, maybe you'll remember because I thought he was doing really well. And Michael Amodi, thank you for gifting a Metatron membership. I appreciate that. And Memeing Star, I believe with the war in Gaza dragging on and his popular collapsing, Netanyahu struck Iran to look strong, save Syria, and restore Israel's fading dominance, betting the US will bail them out. You know, when it comes to US support, this is what confuses me. I'm just going to say it, and maybe you'll help me because I know that you're mixed, right? Some of you are centrists, some of you are lefties, some of you are right-wingers. And maybe you'll help me understand this, but when it comes to the US support of Israel actions, the one thing that it's always confusing is that when you look at it from the outside, right, it may appear that regardless of exceptions, usually you would think that, what, like the right wing is supporting Israel and the left is supporting Palestine. Like you would look at it that way. But then when the actual politicians talk, I heard Donald Trump saying that we stand with Israel, and I heard Biden say we stand with Israel. So I'm a little confused now. It's like, what? How did that happen? So if you have an explanation for that, it would be great, because it appears at that point, and I may be completely wrong, so take what I'm about to say with a grain of salt, but it appears to me then that this kind of which side you support, it's an illusion of choice. That appears like an illusion of choice at that point. But then again, I'm sure you'll explain how that works for me, because, and of course there are people that whatever. At the end of the day, as I say, my moderate take is very simple. I hope that I always condemn the suffering of the innocents, and that's that. I always feel for them. You would think that that's the obvious thing, but it isn't, because I've seen people laugh. Like I've seen TikToks of people laughing at like children and casualties within civilian population. I'm like, who would do that at that point? Like what? How? Like how do you become like that? Like that's insane. Whether it be during the first strikes against Israel, when the first things happened with Hamas and what they did to the civilian population, which was horrendous, but also the Palestinian children that also, yeah, of course, I don't want to see innocent people lose their, it's, I thought that would be common sense, but common sense is not common. We should change the nomenclature. You say psychopathy. Well, yeah, absolutely. So strange. Thank you so much. But one thing I'm happy about is that Hagop became a subscriber on Twitch with Prime. Thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate that. Thank you. Oh, common sense. There he is in my chat. I've got common sense in my chat, guys. If we've got common sense in the chat, we're good. We're good. That could be possible. Actually, Baron just presented a very good explanation. He said, best way I can think when Trump and Biden side the same is because politically Israel is a long-time ally. It is an ally, yeah. But those who side Palestine seem to go for a humanitarian angle. I would imagine so, yeah. As long as you're not the likes of for instance, what's his name? Hassan Piker, because the guy has said some stuff about 9/11 that I'm like, okay, you've lost all credibility now because the people that died during 9/11 were innocent. The people in those offices were innocent. So if you want to scream about the innocent Palestinians, and I can agree with that, but then you'll laugh and make jokes or support 9/11, you lost all credibility. In fact, one of our next streams, probably next week, I'm going to have a look at his dear friend, Frogan, and the cake that she wanted to make to recreate 9/11. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll talk about you. I need to make sure I make a few, and I need more enemies, guys. I need more enemies. So there is that. So there is that. Very good point, Philip. Thank you. Don't trust what politicians say. Trust what they do. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Very good point. Thank you for sharing that, man. I knew that the chat is pretty good, I have to say, that the topic is strong. The chat so far, I've seen a couple of people got a little angry, but regardless, most people have been decent, which I do appreciate. I do appreciate that. Yeah. Thank you, Oasis Ali. Kind of I love the way your name sounds, by the way. Thank you for subscribing with Prime. Really appreciate that. Let's make that Twitch pop. Let's go, guys. Let's go. Okay, let me see. Da, 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 da. Okay. So we have some recommendations from Manumon. Thank you. I recommend Ori Goldberg's interview with the 972 magazine regarding Iran and its realistic danger to the West and Israel in particular. He's an Israeli expert for Iran topics, but fairly balanced. All right, yeah, definitely. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for balance. I'm absolutely looking for balance. I'm not interested in people pushing propaganda. I don't need that. Like, it's difficult sometimes to figure out where the propaganda. So, because one thing about propaganda, and I know that because you can study the totalitarian regimes of the 20th century to have a good idea when it comes to that. But when it comes to propaganda, propaganda is not just lies. Propaganda is some tactically placed lies intertwined with truths. And that's why it's so difficult to spot. They will tell you a lot of stuff that is real, and you'll be like, yeah, absolutely. And then they'll put the lie in there, and the lie is difficult to recognize, and that's what's being used to manufacture consent. And so that happens. Yeah. Yeah. I want to show you one thing. I see there are still more super chats. I'll read them, of course. Every single super chat will be read. I do want to show you very quickly, though, before we continue. I opened 4 tabs here because I want to know your opinion. So I opened a conservative tab, Charlie Kirk talking about this, a liberal tab, the Young Turks with, I can never pronounce his name. What the heck? Cenk? I don't know. You'll tell me. And when it comes to this one, I just hope he doesn't scream. I'm just going to put it that way. Then I opened Michael Nowell, conservative side. And then I opened, once again, the Young Turks with this lady for the liberal side. So if you have better ones, then let me know. But as you see, I'm being considering and watching voices from all over the sides and spectrum to see what they say, what people think, how they justify certain statements, how they attack other arguments. And that's where we are at. So we've got quite a few things to work with. I want to see your answers to this, and then I will read the super chats. You're super, okay, some people say, Chank, that's how you pronounce it? Chank, yeah. The Young Turks is not liberal, they are centrist. They don't look centrist to me, they look very left-leaning. I don't know if they, of course there is a difference between progressive, liberals, all that kind of stuff, but they appeared to be very left-leaning to me, but I don't know. I may be wrong. Charlie, LOL, there is no conservative side, they're uniparty. I don't know what that means, but I think I can definitively state that without it being wrong that Charlie Kirk is a conservative. Of course, I think religiously he's a Protestant, whereas he's a Catholic. if I remember right. So yeah, they will have some interesting debates on that. But yeah. No, of course, Baron says, I think they are left leaning, but not far left. Yeah, sure. I mean, as I say, when you go into too much on the far side, and that's why I'm not gonna play any Hassan Piker in here. Not gonna happen. But if you do have people that you're like, oh, this guy would be good to listen to when it comes, remember that my idea is find me someone that gives me fact, because I don't particularly care about screaming, okay? Which is why I just hope this guy doesn't scream. Where is he? I just hope, because this guy screams a lot. So if he doesn't scream in the moment he starts screaming, I'm stopping it. If he doesn't scream in this issue, then great. I'm willing to listen. Yeah. Protestant versus Catholic is not interesting. Well, to me, it can be. It depends. Depends. Ben Shapiro brings different information I didn't hear in Charlie Kirk's video, so there's that. I mean, I'm sure Ben Shapiro will have strong opinions, but then again, it's not like, I don't know how, when it comes to Israel as a topic, I don't know how unbiased he can be. I doubt he will be in any way, shape, or form. It doesn't mean that anything he says is wrong, but it also means that if I am going to watch Ben Shapiro on this topic, I'm going to have to go in there with like X-ray vision. I think that's fair to say. Someone suggests Tim Pool. I think the last time I watched Tim Pool was when he talked about Jordan Peterson. I think. Maybe do Asmongold and Hassan. I might see what Asmongold says on this, because be interesting, because last time I listened to Asmongold was about gaming and I agreed with almost anything, but then if we actually dive into politics, we'll have to see. Suggestions are terrible, but that's fine. They're still suggestions, though, and so we'll see. Thank you very much, Captain, for the donation. This is one of those issues where it's going to be very challenging to find a balanced opinion, I agree. Everyone seems to have picked a side to some degree. Yeah, and again, even if you do pick, I mean, everyone picks a side. I'm fine with people picking sides. I just wish that they would still, if your own side does something wrong, you should call it out, right? And that's why, for example, a YouTuber that I respect is Shoe on Head, because she's a left-winger, but she criticizes both the right and the left. And that's why she got so much hate. Like, I remember this guy that I don't respect, Alec Gunter, the left-wing guy that called me fascist and all the names under the planet. I do not respect him one bit. And it was so funny, because to him, the likes of Shoe on Head, I mean, from his point of view, she's like some kind of far-right. But she's a socialist, you idiot. It's just that she's not like you. You're a cultist. She's at least someone who is open to criticizing where things need to be criticized, whether it's regardless of the side. So I actually like Sean Ed as a creator. I think she's great. Yeah, so let me see the super chat so that I'm not disrespectful to people. Thank you, Taha, for the support. Captain, I think I read that. Domenico, Norman Finkelstein is great on this topic, and he's only used facts, and he is a Jew who supports the Palestine side. Really, I'll definitely see that side. Be interesting to see. Sean says you just want to farm on the opportunity. I'm not sure what this means. You'll have to explain it to me. But if what you're trying to say is that the only reason why I'm talking about this is to make money, then thank you for giving me the money, I guess. John Doe, Jimmy Dore criticizes both the left and the right. Senk is horrible. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just that I know of him. I don't particularly like the way he argues. Like, I've seen him argue against, I'll read the rest in a second, but I've seen a debate on Piers Morgan, and I like Piers Morgan because he seems to be pretty moderate on his takes. He pissed me off a couple of times, so I agree with him all the time, but I kind of like him. So anyways, Piers Morgan invited Cenk to debate Andrew Wilson. And holy moly, I thought he was going to have a heart attack. I'm like, this guy's going to have a stroke. Because, of course, you know Andrew Wilson I've actually disagreed with him once when it came to women warriors and history. Regardless, he's very like, he's like an attack dog, and so when he says something, he says it. He has no like limitations to the way, and he's very good debater, by the way, very good debater, skill wise. So he said some stuff, and Chank couldn't stop. He exploded. You could see the vein like going like this, and I was like, relax, man. If you think that what Andrew Wilson is saying is nonsense, then present your arguments. I don't need the righteous indignation and you turning red, if you know what I mean. So there is that. Yeah. Fence sitter likes fence sitters, says Jeffrey Garcia. It's a very stupid thing to say because I'm not a fence sitter. So you gotta make yourself look like a clown with that statement. So there is that. But yeah, please keep being an idiot in the comments. I don't mind. Piers Morgan is the definition of a grifter. His changing positions on vaccines and now he supports the UK government about immigration is ridiculous. Yeah, okay, well then I would disagree with his ideas when sometimes if he makes a statement and I think his statements are ridiculous, I would disagree with that idea, but I don't feel the need to call him a grifter at that point. If you think he's a grifter, that's fine. I don't watch him a lot, but every time I've watched him, I did not like how he treated Alex O'Connor, for example, when they were talking about monarchy, because Alex O'Connor was presenting very good rational ideas and Piers Morgan wouldn't even let him finish a sentence. Now that pissed me off. It's one of the situations. But I've heard him make statements sometimes instead where I was like, I like what he's saying in this scenario. So again, just because I said that I like him, it doesn't mean that I agree with him. There are plenty of times when I disagree strongly with his positions. It's just that for me to get to a point where I tell you I actively dislike this creator is when we get to statements that are indefensible, not something that I can think you are misguided and I want to change your mind and show you the evidence so we can have a discussion over a coffee. I'm talking about Frogan deciding to make a cake to celebrate 9/11. Then you're gone. You're gone in that scenario, if you know what I mean. So yeah. Guy Lobby, you're disappointed that I'm here asking people for their opinions. What do you mean? I don't know what your problem is with that, Guy Lob. Then if this is not how you would have approached this topic, you make your channel and you follow your own views. I mean, at the end of the day, what did I say up to this point? How long have we been here? 41 minutes. Tell me what I said that was ignorant or that I misled or toxic or hateful, because unless you can tell me exactly what I said verbatim that was so horrible and disappointing, that the simple fact that I'm here to learn from you is a show of humility. Now, if you got offended because I said I didn't like Hassan Piker, then that's your problem. I can still say that because it's my platform. So you tell me. Why, instead of trying to shame with these stupid tactics, why don't you educate me? If you think you know better, educate me. I'm here with the open mind, not Zahi Hawass open mind, real open mind. If you know better, educate me. But if you're here to shame, get the fuck out of here. How about that? Thank you. Anyways, for the good people instead that are here, and I appreciate you here, let's have a look. They're trying to drag the US into war. I hope not. Let's see. That's funny. Thank you, Tricky, for your. I mean, I usually don't reward all caps, so I'm not gonna show it. But I appreciate your defense. Thank you, Tricky. Appreciate that. Yeah, that was really nonsense. Some people are so manipulative. Like, shame on you for doing this. No, shame on you for trying to use manipulation tactics on me. I'm just exercising my freedom of speech, and I'm here to learn from my audience. If you don't want to be part of that, then don't be here. But the other people are being great. They're explaining things to me. They're telling me who to watch so that I can educate myself, which is exactly, that's what I mean. It's like the logic breaks down the split second. I'm looking slightly deeply into what you just said, and it's ridiculous. You want me to educate myself? That's what I'm doing. I'm asking people to give me, perspectives, to tell me who to watch. That's exactly what I'm doing. So yeah, this is why I love your channel. Thank you so much. G. Clifton, I appreciate that. And Benjamin, millions believe the propaganda about Israel carrying out genocide and yet yell, okay, Jewish dinner. I'm skipping certain words because I don't want the red dollar sign. There is no equivalence, but they still are hypocrites. When words fail, blows will follow. I thank you. Of course, I will look into all of this because a lot of statements need to be. Thank you very much, Abdullah. I appreciate that. Thank you. And yeah, so it's just one of those situations. Yeah, I do think, to me, Piers Morgan looks like a centrist. In fact, more than me. Because yeah, I've got my leanings that are quite definitive. So you say he leans right, but as long as you know that it's a pretty good source overall, I would say I agree. And then, as I say, there are some things that he says that I will disagree, but I don't need to try and cancel him because of it. It's like, fine, let's sit down, let's discuss, let's talk, and this is what my point of view. And yeah, here we are. All right, let me see. There are plenty of super chats. I need to catch up because I don't want to be disrespectful to people. So Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens are good when it comes to the Israeli conflict. Aaron Mate, Gabor Mate, and Norman Finkelstein, Dave Smith are also good. That's a lot of names. But yeah, I'll definitely look those up 100%. But what you guys, the person you guys need to look up after the stream is Starwind Yuki. She's great. She is great. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the subscriptions that you just gifted. Yeah, she's really good. And there you are. Freedom of speech, always freedom of speech. That is the one thing. There she is, and she's a VTuber, and I love her work. You guys have to check it out. If you've got Twitch, she's great. You should totally check her out. So thank you again for your support. But yeah, no, I'm a massive proponent of freedom of speech. I always have been. So thank you for that. Appreciate the subs. Thank you so much. All right, so let me see. Do you agree that English is the best language because of the options between objective Latin versus emotive Germanic words? Oh, I see. Lotus Eaters, Anti-Latin, Ankiton. So, is it the best language? No, I don't think there is such a thing as a best language, but it's nice that you have these options, but they are same options as found in Italian. It's just that the roots are different. What I'm saying by that is that Italian is clearly connected to Latin, but has a lot of influence from Greek, and you find that in the vocabulary, particularly high end. English is clearly a Germanic language, but it's a lot of influences from Latin, and so you have the same thing. Japanese is its own Asian language and language family, but they've got a lot of influence from classical Chinese. In fact, I would say that Chinese stands to Japanese as Greek stands to Italian. So every language, a lot of languages have these kind of ramifications. But yeah, English is a great language, by the way. I love it. When it comes to the Lotus Eaters, so I don't watch them much, but I'll tell you this much. They made one reaction video to my video on the topic of the pyramids, and they were extremely supportive and respectful. So I appreciate that. I'll just leave it at that. So yeah. Anyways, I know that some of you like them, some of you hate them. I respect both positions. I'm just saying they made one react video to me, and they were extremely respectful, and they were very nice, and so I do appreciate that. I'm sure there are positions they hold that I disagree with, and positions that I may agree with. But I do have to respect that, because instead someone like Alec Gunter, I don't respect, because he attacked me and called me all sorts of names. It's really a low bar, isn't it? When you're like, well, at least they didn't call me a fascist. I mean, that's a low bar, but here we are. What can I say? All right, let me go back to, there's a lot of super chats. By the way, thank you so much, guys, for the support. I really appreciate that. By the way, before we continue, let me very quickly look at the health of the stream. How are we doing? Very well. Excellent connection. 1,200 people watching. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate that. All right. So let's get back to these. Thank you, Starwind Yuki. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And by the way, Yuki, if you have a schedule for your streams and you know that you live stream at this time on this day, do let me know, because if it happens that I'm live and you're streaming, I'll raid your chat 100%. It's just that sometimes you're not live when I'm live, so there's that. But yeah, appreciate that. Cool. All right. So what have we got? Yes, I read that. Splendid. Fantastic. Yeah, let's see. So you were saying this. Yeah, we were reading this. Thank you, Pax. When you switch topics, remember Chris White, Ancient Aliens Debunked. You'll like it as there is zero ad hominem and it attacks only the arguments and does it brilliantly. It's an epic and it's 3 hours. So basically, this guy, I don't know him, but it sounds like he's the opposite of Professor Dave then. I appreciate that. I'll definitely check him out. In fact, let me just open that very quickly, okay? So I have an extra tab that we're gonna put here because I do like people that debunk the nonsense but are doing it with decency. So that's always nice to see. Definitely something that I would enjoy. So I like that already. Philip, don't trust what PG. Oh yeah, that was I had skipped that one, so apologies for that. John Doe says Epstein was sponsored by Israel. Israel controls our politicians. Israel is allegedly the greatest ally. It's blackmails. Yeah, I can't verify any of this. Maybe these Epstein files will actually come to light, and then we can actually have a look at that. That could be interesting to see. Thank you for sharing your opinion. Manumon, I recognized Ori Goldberg's interview with the... Yeah, I read this one. And Giga Jewel says the young Democrat politicians are for divestment, no money to Israel, but the older Democrats are the religious Republicans, which is 90% support. I see. Well, I do know that there is a big difference between old school Democrats and modern Democrats. I do see that. There is a big difference. I don't know how much of a difference there is between old school Republicans and current Republicans. If you know that, it'd be interesting to know. Yeah, please expand the point, Hibiki. To expand my point on colonialism, I would use Botswana and Sierra Leone as examples, both recipients of British colonialism, both with very different outcomes. For some of chat, I have a limited number of characters. Sorry. Yeah, no worries, and thank you for expanding that. I'm not aware of these two instances, so that could be interesting to expand on at one point. Thank you. John Doe, Jimmy Doe criticizes both left and right. Thank you, is horrible. Yeah, I did read that. I read this one. Norman Flinkenstein is great on this topic and he only uses facts. I love that. Yeah, I read that one a second ago. And Captain was saying this is one of those issues where it's going to be very challenging, and I did read this. Yep. I don't know anything about Candace Owens, to be honest. Would you classify her as a conservative? I've got a clue. I've never heard anything. I know who she is, but I've never watched anything from her, so I wouldn't be able... I don't know if she's a conservative. You guys have to tell me. No idea. Dan Amir, Israeli here. Hello. Can share some perspective on these things. Wasn't earlier, by the way. Yeah, absolutely. Feel free to share your opinion. No problem. And Teosal, the Duran are quite good at it and quite neutral. I'll check them out. Majority Report, Sam Cedar. Thank you for the suggestion. Antonio, I would recommend checking out Sitch and Adam if you want a reasonable liberal take. I like that they don't, by default, crap on conservatives. Good. Yeah, great. Absolutely. I'll... Man, I've got to have to, like... Luckily, this stays as a VOD, so then later I can replay it and take all the super chats and actually write everything down. I'll do that, by the way. Man, you gave me like 30 channels to watch. Thank you for that. Benjamin, millions believe the propaganda about Israel carrying out gender. I think I did read this one. Yeah. Yeah, I did. And... yes, so the Ghost, Balkan mapping, and Too Long Didn't Read News have been fairly unbiased from what I've seen, but I'm not sure I'm qualified enough to speak on a topic like this. Absolutely. Appreciate that. John Doe, who is really? A lot of people think they know everything, but the reality is there is a lot of information that we will never have access to, right? So unless you're like... It's not like this is a situation where only someone who knows how to do military tactical analysis can talk. But yeah, I mean, a lot of us, we can discuss. And one thing that I want to do with this live stream, and that is the main thing behind this live stream, is to still, regardless of ideas, and regardless of conflicting positions, I want to still keep and push the message that innocents, civilians, and children are always victims, and we should always hope that their safety can be guaranteed. I will push this message. So if at the end of the stream, let's say we stream for 3 hours and people are like, you said nothing. No, I did. I said the most important thing. And even if it can change the mind of 10 people and they can think, oh yeah, I'm so invested in this, man, I'm starting to lose it. Of course, the innocent shouldn't die. Of course. Well, then great. This is not a wasted stream. At that point, that's the message. I met and love the channel. Thank you, Josh. What do you think is the best way to get unbiased and accurate information on a conflict like this? Well, I know, as I say, I think it's important to listen to as many sides as possible. And then, yeah, you have to do your own research. That's definitely one thing. And then I would try to look into, like, there is one, I really like one media coverage that it's called, man, what is it called? They even sponsored me once and I forgot the name. I'm sure you know it. Ground News. I think Ground News is pretty good. When I accepted the sponsorship, it's because I really thought these are good because they tell you the percentages of biases of media outlets. And that's pretty good if you want to look into this. But do keep in mind that if at any point you think you know it all and you have 100% understanding, then you're being brainwashed because no one does. Unless you're like inside the freaking CIA, FBI. Like I was hearing people noticing that, for example, I think President Trump was, right before this conflict started, he was telling non-essential personnel in the area to leave. And so some people were speculating, did he know? And here's the thing, here's my take on that. You don't think that the leader of the most powerful nation on earth had any idea that something like this was going to happen? He's got intel. I think he did know. Now, do I think that Israel government told him? No, I don't think so. I think they kept it. I personally don't think that. But what I do think is that he probably knew that there was a high percentage due to intelligence. Because, I mean, it's the CIA, the FBI. This is America. So you've got analysts, you've got generals, you've got people that know. So I do think he knew, like his experts told him something, you know, shit is going to hit the fan. And so he made a decision and said, you should come back. That's the way I think it makes sense to read. Like when people are like, oh, it's kind of strange. How did he know? Well, it's the president of the United States. I mean, regardless of who the president is, I think they have access to information that you don't and that I don't. Who else? Evil Black, if Bandai would finish the Gundam, we wouldn't be in this mess. You're right. Kotif, Tucker Carlson and Kanye Owens, I think, are as far right as they get, you say. That recommendation is pretty bad. Well, I guess I'll watch a little bit. And then if they feel like they are too on the right for me, like too much, just like, you know, when someone like Hassan Piker is too left for me. And I'm like, no. Then if this is the case, then I'll stop watching. But it could also be that maybe they're far right from your perspective, because do remember that from the perspective of, for example, that guy that I don't want to say name again, he was so far left that to him, the socialist shoe on head was far right. So at that point, I'm not saying you are like this, but these days there are people that if you get a fall and hit your leg and you tell, oh, I hurt my leg, they will ask, oh, which leg did you hurt? The left or the far right? Like there are people that call everything far right. I'm not interested in the discourse. People who are center right are center right. Okay? So the only way I use far right is to indicate people who are, guess where? In the far right. Full stop. So there is that, right? There are people that are like ultra conservatives, like it's different. But I don't call everyone who is 15 centimeters right of Karl Marx far right. Like, what's the point? At that point, the term doesn't have any usage. But yeah, 1 second, because we're getting a little bit of, oh gosh, it's exploding a little bit. Here we go. Thank you, Dan. Israeli here. I did read that. The Duran are quite good at it, and I read that. Oh, yeah, okay. So the Majority Report, Sam Cedar. They are left-wingers, right? Majority Report. I think I watched a little bit of them. There was a time when I was watching back-to-back Majority Report and Matt Walsh because they were talking about each other, and they were like really like at each other's throat. So I think I know who you're talking about. Antonio would recommend checking out Sitch and Adam if you want a reasonable liberal stake, and I think I read that. Yeah. All right, we have a lot of ground to cover here. I Metatron, I love the channel. Thank you, Joss. Appreciate you being here. What do you think is the best way to get unbiased? Oh, yeah, I think I read it, but thank you again. And of course, Dapper says, be careful, Metatron regime is pumping out propaganda like crazy. News sources like Manot and Iran International are more better to get better. You don't need more there grammatically to get the general idea from Iranians fresh. Well, yeah, of course, I'm expecting propaganda from both governments. It's just how it is. And also the comments are exploding here. I don't know what's happening with the comments. I'll try to sift through as much as possible. And I read that. A lot of names here. Okay, Breaking points, 4 journalists, 2 rep and 2 Dems. Good. Today they talked about Iran. Tim Dillon for the lols. I'll definitely do that. I don't know who Tim Dillon is. But yeah, I'll check them out. And then Chael, do you agree that English? I already read that. YouTube comment. The world in Metro 2033 universe ended when US and Russia threw nukes at each other. It began from a nuke exchange between Israel and an Arab country. Well, I hope not. I really hope not. Honestly, I have to believe that the threat of mutual assured annihilation is enough for the world leaders to not go into a nuclear winter. I have to believe that self-preservation trumps, to use that word, trumps any other expansionistic desire and any other politics and any other religion. I'd have to believe that that's the case. Maybe I'm being a little optimistic here, but that's what I'm hoping. John Doe, Greeks are the OG Italians, Metatron 2025. Not really, but then again, I'm from Sicily, so I guess it depends on the area. Italian Stallion, Jimmy Dore and the Grey Zone are good sources, so is Chris Hedges. If you lean more right-wing, Dave Smith is a good source. As I say, I lean right on some topics, like, for instance, freedom of speech is one thing that I agree with the right wing. Although I think there are some left-wingers that also support freedom of speech, but those left-wingers that are like, no, I want hate speech laws, I disagree with. But on some issues, like, for instance, universal healthcare, I lean more left. So it depends. It's kind of we can talk about it anytime. Maybe we'll do a live stream dedicated to that, like on what issues I lean right, on what issues I lean left. I'm happy to discuss it. Not really the topics of today, but yeah. And then we have, thank you, Henry Johnson, for becoming a member of the channel. I appreciate the support. I'm going to switch back to regular chat in a second, by the way. The old Republican Party were destroyed by MAGA. I don't think any Republican is MAGA, though, right? I think it's MAGA is like a specific subset of right-wingers, if I'm not wrong, but you'll explain it to me. I'm trying to understand American politics because I live in America, and once I become a citizen, I'll have to vote. And now, of course, as an independent thinker, my vote will be based on who's the candidate, what is he saying, rather than I'm going to stick to this and only vote on this side. But then again, I do have to understand everything that goes in, well, not everything, but as much as I can when it comes to what the positions are, before I can, at one point finally be able to actually have a vote. Right now, I can't vote. Can't vote. Sorry about that. Can't vote. It's a domino effect. Israel attacking Iran. Pakistan joins Iran, causing India to join Israel, causing... Oh, gosh. I know where you're going with this. I really hope not. I really hope it's not a domino effect. I really do. I'm going to send you 5 just to let you know I laugh in your facet. Use the hot topic just to gather money and you say nothing. Well, it's not true, but even if it were true, this is lunch, man. Like, Sean, I don't know what to tell you. It kind of makes you whatever. I mean, if that's how you want to use your money, feel free. You're objectively wrong. You're free to say it, though, because I'm pro freedom of speech. I don't know what to tell you. I'll take the £5. I'll tell you what I'm going to buy with it. I'm going to buy a BMT with extra mayo and chipotle sauce at Subway. So I guess thank you for lunch. But yeah, I'm happy to have a discussion about it, by the way, and tell you why I don't think you're correct. I'm not here to hate on you. But if you're here just to hate and you want to throw money, feel free. Do a $100 donation then. I challenge you, Sean. Put $100, See if your money's where your word is. Let's go. Hibiki. Maybe I should start a YouTube channel and be as awesome as you are. Thank you so much, Hibiki. I appreciate that. Then I could collab with you and tell you about how cool Botswana is. I don't know what Botswana is. You'll have to explain that. You don't need to super chat it, by the way. You can. I'm sure I'll see you. I appreciate that. But thank you. Appreciate the support, and you're being very nice. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. The Swift Assassin. Got to love the diverse viewpoints here. Absolutely. Most places are echo chambers. Totally. Because of algorithms and grifters. Glad there is some open places left. Yeah, the audience is very mixed. And it's funny because usually haters tell me that, oh, your audience is this, X. And I'm like, it's not true. The audience is mixed, and I welcome that, because in order to be a member of this community, all you need, the only line is be a decent person, don't be toxic, and you have to be passionate when it comes to civilization, history. That's it. Then your religion, lack thereof, political leanings, lack thereof, that's you. You do you. I'm fine. Not a problem. Everyone is welcome. That's it. And Jasper is a supporter of Israel, I see. They're stopping an Islamic regime from continuing to build up nuclear weapons. Yeah, that's, of course, the position that is being presented by the leaders of Israel. And I see that you believe that. Whether I believe it or not, it's like I wish I had access to data. Because just because someone says it, and thank you for gifting the membership, appreciate that, Jasper. Just because someone says it, it could be true, the nuclear building thing. I'm not saying it's not true, maybe. Or it could be a justification. And at that point, I'm like, I don't know. And most likely neither do you. And I don't mean, no, I'm not talking about you, Jasper. I mean, the people who say it's definitely X or it's definitely Y. It's difficult to make a statement like that if you don't have actual access to the data, but you can have your own opinion and think, based on what I studied, I think what he's saying is true, or I think what he's saying is not true. And that's where we are at. Absolutely. The Ghost, can we all just wait a couple of years before we start World War III? Yeah, I want to at least survive till 2026 for GTA 6. You have an absolute point, yeah. I've just received a wonderful computer right here, and I'd like to play it. So there is that. Thank you, Sam. I won't watch channels like the Young Turks because I don't want to watch people who said people who didn't get the COVID vaccine should be kicked out of ICU. What's ICU? But yeah, no, I don't know about that statement. I guess I didn't watch their content when they were, so I don't know the context around that. But the one thing I don't like about the Young Turks is when the guy screams. Up to this point. If they make a statement and I disagree with it, I'll disagree. I just don't like the screaming. And JF called this pre-election. Wow. And Sam, I think I read it. Yeah, I won't. Yeah, I did read that. And Trigonometry YouTube has great content on this. I'll check them out. Joshua, thank you for this, for the input. ICU means intensive care unit. Oh, I see. Goodness gracious. Yeah, I mean, no, don't kick them out. Oops. Boom. There we go. Okay, so let me finish. I'll open chat again in a second. I just want to make sure I finish this. Carne pulven, whatever. So you don't have the same geopolitical opinion as me? Lol, get educated, son. Yeah, exactly, precisely. That's exactly what some people think. And it's funny because I'm like, all right, educate me then instead of shame, shame, shame. The shame, shame tells me that you are not confident in your positions and you have chosen them not based on appropriate data analysis, but simply because of your emotions, but because you're not confident about your points, then you have to shame. That's what that tells me. Not you, I'm saying the people that do that. Because the people who are confident, they will immediately tell me, no, what you said is wrong. Boom, they write a concise explanation. I'm like, man, this guy might be right. Right? That would be my reaction to it. So people that go emotional about it, it tells me they're not confident. And yeah, so I read that. Sure, I'll give you another 5. I'm grateful for your opinion about the Iran-Israel topic, lol. Okay, thank you, Sean. At this point, you sure you're okay though? Because it seems like you maybe I misunderstood what you were writing. I don't know, but okay. Thank you for being here. Yeah, so all right, let's open chat again so I can see everything. And let's see. Baron is a sweet guy. I do know Baron is a good friend of mine. So yeah, we sometimes disagree on some political topics, me and Baron, but he's a good man. I can tell you that much. So he's also one of my moderators over on my, what's the word? My Discord. Thank you. Now, someone who's spamming a false statement like this, okay, I'm going to block you. PMC. 1, because you're wrong. 2, because you keep spamming and you're using all caps. Let me see if you keep doing it. If I see one more, you're gone. Just so you know. And by the way, when you get blocked by a YouTuber, what that means is that you will not see it. You will see that you leave your comments, right? But no one sees them. So you will leave your comments thinking that you're commenting, but I will not see them, and no one will see them ever on the channel. That's how it works. Just so you know. There we go. Oh, no. Sorry, John. John is... Is it John? Who is? Let me see. Who was it that was writing that nonsense? Because it's false. You know, I understand that people are fed up with the Afrocentrists claiming everything, but also don't combat a lie with a lie. Don't combat a lie with a lie. So we're going to give him a yeah. I mean, I know. Let me see his name again. PMC. All right. Screenshotted. Gone. All right. So, what were we saying? Your opinion is correct. Yeah, I know it is. I mean, it's the truth. Like, you know me, I stand against the nonsense from the Afrocentrists when they push nonsense. They claim everything, but at the same time, I'm not gonna start pushing lies. Like when they say, yeah, absolutely, Noah, totally. Like pushing lies and spamming it, saying black people never invented anything. That's objectively wrong, and you know it. So what you're doing now is it's the same as what the people that we combat when it comes to claiming everyone was black. That's also wrong. And so no, I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, so that's the situation. Yeah, peanut butter. Peanut butter is great. Thank you, Manumon, for the support. ZTO is a highly factual source of the IP topics. I'll check him out 100%. And by the way, well, I did mean it, by the way. When I say something, I do it. So sometimes it takes me time to do it, but I do it. So when I say that all of these people writing all of these suggestions, at the end of the stream, I'm going to go make pasta. After the pasta is being eaten by me, then I will replay the VOD that I can do it because anyways, we need to jump cut these and if we want to create content later. And as I do that, I will note all the suggestions from you guys and then I'll start checking them out. It might take me some time, but yeah. Yeah, he's a troll. He was a troll. Absolutely don't have time to waste. Thank you, Evil Black. Great supporter of the channel. Just like everyone else, I base my opinions on the fact that my facts are facts and people who disagree with me are just repeating false propaganda. Yeah. Yeah. This is one of those things, isn't it? African Beethoven. Yeah, no, I've seen that one. That was ridiculous, and I'll say it. I don't care if people call me racist. African Beethoven. What the heck is that? I mean, come on. I have to cringe when I see that. Then the Young Turks literally created a son with destiny. I don't know the story that, but I believe you. I don't see that not happening. Sure, yeah, I read that already. And thank you for the gifted membership, Jasper. Jasper, I really appreciate that. You're very generous. Appreciate that. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah. Let me see our people on Twitch. Man, tonight I'm making the best pasta in the world. Yeah. Yeah, there is a lot of auto moderation on Twitch, so I apologize if you comment if you didn't say anything wrong and the comment. Yeah, I'll allow it now because you didn't say anything wrong. Yeah, I do play a lot of horror games, by the way. Absolutely, I love horror games. Thank you, The Forge. Appreciate the support. The issue with Iran getting a nuclear weapon is the high likelihood of using one. I actually have a question about this, but I'll continue. Through her paramilitary proxies, Hamas, Hezbollah, PLO, and others putting a nuclear core in a private aircraft. No, I understand that. So I do have a question when it comes to this. Is it true, because I've heard Israel leader saying this, but I would like to double check it with you because I don't know if it's propaganda. But is it true that the Iranian government actually said that publicly that they were going to destroy Israel, and that they also said that that Israel is like the, what did they call it, the small Satan, and America is the greater Satan? Is it true that they said that? Because if they do say that, then, well, that's something that needs to be taken into consideration. I'm not justifying any action, particularly when it comes to civilians, but when it comes to military targets, but did they actually say that? Because if they did, then I mean, that doesn't sound good at all. You say many times. Yeah, that's a big problem, because if they make statements like this, they make it harder then to win the public's support, which I don't have with me, obviously. I support the people. I support the innocents. I support, if you're Iranian, you're watching this, stay safe. I hope you're fine. And if you've lost family members, my heart goes with you. But if the leaders make anti-West, anti-whatever statements like this, then yeah, I don't like that at all, one bit. Exactly. If they chant death to America, then, I mean, yeah, no, I don't want you to have a nuke at that point. You know, it's just one of those things. Just trying to keep it real. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to keep it real. Italians culturally appropriated pasta and tomatoes. We did, and you can't do anything about it. Thank you, Alex. Check out William Spaniel and Lines on Map. Also check the channel. Man, you guys know all the channels. I'm glad that I did this live stream. This is really good. Traveling Israel, he talks more about the history of Israel, and yes, it's true. Okay, I see. So it's true that they made those statements. Yeah. John, though, it's sad to see people using Candace Owens' religion as a way to poison the well. It's also illogical to claim that the entire demographic would threaten their own existence and the entire world. No, of course, not the entire demographic. We're only talking about the leaders here. We're only talking about the leaders. And the only people that I have an issue with when it comes to the regular population is when there are people that make TikToks to mock the innocents that die on the other side. I hate that. That's despicable. I've seen a few TikToks, and I had to close the thing because it was really making me... Metatron, you're a socialist. No, I'm not a socialist, but... if you want to say that. Yeah. Jasper Owen says, Truth, Justice, and the Metatron Way, Superman 2025. Let's go. Did you know that Superman was invented by... was written by Jews, actually, Jewish people? The creators of Superman are Jews. You can tell that because the original name is Kal-El. And El is the word for God. So there's that. I have a few interesting facts, by the way, when it comes to The Last of Us as well. So I'll tell you in a little bit. I 100% agree with you, Garbs S, when it comes to the content creator whose name begins with a B. I agree with you 100%. 100%. But he shall not be named ever again on this channel. Unless something weird happens, and then I will have to in self-defense. But we'll see. Possibly not. Yeah. I should look up Armin Navabi or Atheist Republic. He's Iranian, probably worth listening to. Oh, yeah, sure. I plan on listening to both Iranians and Israeli to see what they say. 100%. Stefan says, is Metatron going to tell us that girls can't be fathers? Oh, yeah, you're talking about... Yeah, that made me cringe. I'll be honest with you. That scene of Ellie saying I'm going to be a dad really made me cringe. And I am very, very live your life however you want. Respect your position. As long as you're an adult, you can choose whatever you want. I respect that. I respect your freedom. And I'm the guy of live and let live, but that made me cringe. Because it made me cringe. And I'm going to say it. It made me cringe, guys. Yeah. You gave up on The Last of Us after that, Melanie. And I understand why. I didn't even watch it. Because I knew that they would have put stuff like that. And then I was like, no. Sean says, you mean Persians versus Israeli? I do like the term Persian, as I say. I think it's much better PR than Iranian. I think Persian sounds much better. They should get that. Yeah, Baron, exactly. Raf, even I cringe at that. I know. And you're quite left-leaning compared to me, but 100%, my friend. I know it's cringy. That's why I say I don't have any problem with people, how they live their lives and whatever. Live your life however you want. But come on. That was so cringy. That was so cringy. My gosh. Disingenuous, says Melanie. I agree. That is a good word for it. It's disingenuous. And it's like, what? Like, what are you trying to say? What are you trying to prove? Like, what is it? I mean, you're going to make people cringe that were on your side as well. So that's not good strategy. And I don't respect bad strategy, regardless of who is applying it. Right? So, yeah. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, what a name. TRSHBRNR. Let's see if I can say fast. TRSH. Goodness gracious. TRSHBRNR1. Long live the Crown Prince and his supporters. May the people take back their country after this conflagration and after so many years. I haven't got a clue what that means, so I won't comment on it, but thank you for the support. Thank you. So which one wears pants in their relationship? I guess hers. Her. Should I say he? Him? I don't. I haven't got a clue. Who cares about The Last of Us? It's a mess. It's a joke anyway. So it started to be a joke, which is a shame because by the way, before anyone says, why are you talking about it? You don't even play. No, I finished both. The Last of Us 1 and The Last of Us 2. Finished. Start to finish. And Last of Us 1 was great. Last of Us 2, gameplay wise, was really good. But I hated Abby so much that I would literally, it would take me like a section with Abby that should have taken me 5 minutes, took me 40 minutes because she pissed me off so much that I kept jumping off cliffs and I having to repeat again. But I finished it. Horrible ending, by the way, among other things. They really ruined Last of Us 2. Although, again, the gameplay was good, the graphics were great. Yeah, it's just one of those things, isn't it? Why do I say that all the time? I should play Blasphemous. It's a hard-as-nailed, grim, dark platformer inspired by Spanish Catholicism. Really? Oh, yeah, no, I played it. I think it's for Xbox 360, isn't it? Also, RPG mechanics of your interactive books when? Oh, yeah, the interactive books are on pause right now, but I'll get back onto them as soon as I finish a few other projects and some collaborations with some creators that will happen in the next few weeks. One creator that still doesn't know that I want to invite him, but I'll tell you now, is Vlogging Through History. I really like his content. I like his takes, and he has reacted to me a few times, and I want to invite him to join a live stream and work together here. I think he's really good, so I'll do that. But he's not the only one. We're going to have a few collaborations, guys. It's going to be good. Oh, not from Xbox 360 era? Then I'm getting confused with another one. It was one about Crusaders. But, you know, I'll check out this based Metatron. Thank you very much, Modric. Yeah. It's funny, Mr. Ossos, that you say you think most of this chat is far right or centrist. I mean, my moderator is a left winger and he's here, so it's not true. The chat is mixed. I keep telling you that. And it's funny when you say that because I've heard people saying Metatron's audience is far right. And I'm like, when I made the video responding to Alec Gunter, who is a toxic left winger, who attacked me, you know how many comments in chat said, Metatron, I'm a left winger too. Please, we're not all like that. He's horrible. Are those far right? You do understand that when you call a right winger, you're not insulting them. But when you call a left winger a right winger, you're actually really insulting them. So, effectively, the people that call the entirety of my audience far right, the only people you're insulting are the lefties in my community. I'm just gonna say it. Because the right wingers, if someone who's even center right and you call them far right, they're like, you know, it's not like it's an insult. But if someone who's left wing gets called by you far right, ooh, they're not gonna like that. Am I right? I mean, it's obvious, but here we are. Yeah. Hey, Baron. By the way, Discord mod is the word you were looking for, you muppet. Discord mod. Thank you. Love you, man. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yeah. A right winger would laugh at being called left. I mean, I guess, yeah, sure. I'm far up. Exactly, because I'm the Metatron, so far up. Oh, gosh. But yeah. Yeah, exactly, Pomodoro. Pomodoro knows the truth. This just sounds funny because it means tomato in my language, so yeah. Yeah. Does Metatron have a lot of libertarian fans? I don't actually know because usually they don't really tell me. So I don't know. Maybe, I guess, since I imagine maybe, I don't know. Got a clue? I don't know. 72 exactly, the 72 wings. Hey, OZ Great Sage, you're the one that hates taxation. I mean, we all do, don't we? But taxes are unnecessary evil. You got to pay your taxes, man. It is what it is. Charles, thank you so much for that, by the way. God bless you, sir. God bless you. Metatron is the most underrated channel on YouTube and Twitch. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Very, very nice of you. Very kind of you. Thank you. I do read Twitch as well. Yeah, of course. It's just a little slow sometimes, particularly when there are a lot of super chats, and I don't want to be disrespectful to people who are donating because I don't take it for granted, of course. And yeah, you think we need slow mode? No, I don't think we need slow mode right now. I can scroll back. I don't think my channel gets the number of people viewing that would require slow mode. How many people have we got right now? Let me see. Let me refresh the page. Right now we've got, yeah, kind of barely cracking 1,000. I think 1,000 is manageable in chat. I think what becomes not manageable is people like when if you were to hit like 5,000, then I probably would have to do slow chat, but I don't even know if that's ever gonna happen. Yeah. Thank you, Captain. If you want to learn about the American Civil War, talk to Vlogging Through History for sure about it on stream. It's his bread and butter. Fantastic. I'll definitely do that. As I say, I like him a lot. He's a really good creator. And oftentimes he posts something on X and I agree with him. I'll read something I posted recently on X, by the way, and see what you think about it. Dracus Luthos, The Last of Us 2 had great graphics, I agree. That makes it worse because you have a better view of Abby Grotesque. Yeah, also Blasphemous is a 2D pixel art Metroidvania, cool. Yeah, no, I love that. I love that. I love pixel art in general, but yeah, I love playing 2D games as well as like that kind of Metroidvania, totally. We played the super famous one, what is it called? Man, what is it with me and names? Anyways, I played a few, including Record of Lodoss War, was one of these. Yeah, I couldn't stand Abby. Abby was terrible. Abby was terrible. Let me make sure I didn't... I thought you were far up. Evil Black, you crack me up every live stream. Really funny. Let me make sure I didn't disrespect anyone. Sean, oh, you just like to get money on controversial topic. Who doesn't like to get money, by the way? Find one person who doesn't like to get money. Everyone likes to get money. So there is that. But yeah, if I was trying to maximize this, as you seem to be intending, wouldn't I do this every stream? You think I can't? There are plenty of controversial streams. There are topics that I can, if I really wanted to do this. No, I keep a balance, because if I want to talk about something, I'll do it. Whether people are going to accuse me of stuff for it or not, I'll still do it. But at the same time, I do regular streams. Like yesterday, we talked about the Greeks versus the Romans. Why did I do that? I didn't need to do it. I had 250, 300 people watching. But I know you guys liked it, and so I did it. I could have not done it, and I could have done controversial to maximize profit. I don't do that. But I'm not afraid of addressing controversial topics. People tried that. A fellow content creator that if he pisses me off, I'll tell you who it is. But a fellow content creator that will remain unnamed for now specifically told me, don't talk about controversial things. People will try to, you'll get backlash. And I'm like, good. I'm free to speak about any topic. And I will fight for that freedom. And I will fight for your freedom to talk about whatever you want, whether I agree with you or not. Thank you, Higashi Martial Art. Meta, it's almost Father's Day, so happy Father's Day to you. Props. Thank you. We're going to the restaurant with my in-laws. It's my favorite holiday. I think we're going to get some steak. Thank God for my kids. Absolutely. Excited to see when you have one. Eventually. Probably soon, hopefully. We're working on it. Captain Lamb, if you want to learn about the American Civil War, yes, I did read that one. Discord mod, yes. Super dangerous because Islamist idea and they want to destroy the West. Yeah, I mean... Obviously, not every Muslim hates Christians. Those who do, however, I very much dislike. So if you're a Muslim and you're watching, well, if you're a Muslim and you're watching, it means you're interested in European history, so I don't think you hate us. And so I don't have a problem with you. But I do have a problem with those that, yeah, what are they called? Not extremists, but like I can't think of the word now, but you know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, I have a problem with those 100%. Who wouldn't? Veronica Tash, please say you will get context from Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch, neutral human rights groups for the win. I'll check them out. Thank you for the suggestion, Veronica. Appreciate that. And yeah, I did watch President Netanyahu, Prime Minister, what the heck is his title? I don't know. A claim that Iran would nuke, and Iran's leader had publicly said it is forbidden in Islam to commit such an atrocity. Insane accusation. Yeah, it would be interesting to see. That's the motivation they're using. It's difficult. One thing that I hate when fanatics, thank you, that's the word exactly. So I do have a problem with fanatics. Absolutely, I do. But if you're like your own family and you're Muslim, you're minding your own business, you believe what you believe, but you don't hate me for being a Christian and you don't hate the West, I don't have a problem with you. At that point, believe whatever you want. Just like I don't have a problem with atheists. Believe whatever you want. You say Muhammad, blessed his name, that's what they say. I will say Jesus Christ is King and Lord. Someone else in chat will say, I don't believe in anything when it comes to religions. Great, freedom. Freedom, let's go. And I believe I read everything. Yeah, I read everything. Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. The alarm intrusive, the various, yeah, I already read that. Thank you. Live chat. Live chat. Weed and chocolate, only chocolate for me. Thank you. Blue-eyed devil says Christ is king. I agree, my friend. Amen. But yeah. Have you played Aliens Dark Descent? No, I haven't. Is it good? I imagine it is if you mention it. Yes, Door, absolutely. I don't have a problem yet. Let me see. Oh no, that's stupid, Door. You say, are you okay with the NAZIS that are not racist? And then you say, same way as you're okay with Muslims who don't hate Christians. It's apples and pears. What does that? I don't even understand where you're going with that. Like I haven't got a clue why you would say that. The only thing I'm saying is that I have a problem with extremists, fanatics, violent people, hateful people. Yeah, I have a problem with all of those. Yeah, with the word fundamentalism, it depends because usually people use it in a way that it's different from its actual meaning. So I don't use the word fundamentalist, but yeah. Why would I have a problem with... I don't like people that have a problem with that entire group. And that's the thing. I have a problem with the bad apples in that group. Now, if said group has a high percentage of bad apples, well, that's data that we can discuss. But definitely, I do not believe that I take a group and put an ethnicity in it and say all bad. I don't like that. Likewise, I don't do the same with religion, right? And are there tenets of religions that are incompatible? 100%. But as long as you don't try to force your things on me, I don't have a problem with your personal freedom of what you want to believe. And that's how it is. Exactly, Cubanton. Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with you on Twitch. 100%. Yeah. Let me see. Yeah, I don't know anything about like the Egyptian border, so I can't really comment on that. One of Hamas founders are not even ethnic Palestinians. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like Hamas, but I don't have a problem with innocent Palestinian population. So I do make a distinction, and I think it's important to make that distinction. And yeah, so there is that. Yeah. Please try the game Outlast, Metatron. I actually did. I die very soon. So there's that. Raphael says, glory to Pompey always, my friend. I'd be so surprised to realize he hasn't been glorified so much in over 2,000 years, if ever. All thanks to us. My gosh, seriously. We have made it into such a meme that I think, yeah, I mean, we'll get into numbers of glory. Everyone will know who Pompey, that now we call Pompey, because Pompey, is like the general. It's just, we're gonna bring him back. We're gonna bring him back. Yeah. I wouldn't say that's the case for everyone, though, Jasper Owens, because I think I understand what you're saying, but then again, it's difficult to leave your homes. Like I wouldn't want to leave my home. Like if something happens here, I don't want to leave. That I bought this house. It's the roots of my family. It's where my relatives are. It's what I know, and I'm not even from here. So yeah, I mean, it's not that easy to just relocate completely and go somewhere else and hope that thing. It's not an easy thing to do. So we shouldn't expect people to do it lightly. At least that's my position on it. And you say Islam is a political movement. Well, unfortunately, the intertwining and interconnection between politics and religion, it's just a thing that has always been the case. It has been the case with ancient Rome, and how the Roman emperor was declaring himself to be a god after his death, usually, but there are a few that actually claimed it during. Think about the pharaohs of ancient Egypt and how they were gods once again. And think about the emperor in Japan, and he's once again a god. So or declares himself to be such. And then he had to actually, at the end of World War II, when he made the Declaration of Humanity, if you remember, that was one of the things he had to do, and literally say, "I am not a god," when he was one of the requirements that he had to do. And so religion has always been intertwined with politics. The and there are, it's just maybe the one thing that I would agree with you is that, for instance, here in the West, there is the distinction between the church and state, and this is non-existent in some Islamic states, the way I understand it. So that would be a big difference that I would agree with you. But I would say that, yeah, religion is its thing, the state is its thing, and politics. But then how much these are intertwined will depend, both on period and geographic location. Yeah. When did I try Outlast? Well, many years ago. I even tried the second one a little bit. Yeah. Thank you, Blue-Eyed Devil. We don't agree on everything, my friend, but I respect you and I will fight for your right to say it. I appreciate that. Likewise. And in fact, I think positions, that's why this polite and civil disagreement is preferable over echo chambers, because echo chambers, you never grow. Whereas when you, even if we can agree on certain things, and I think as long as we agree on the basic terms of humanity and decency, then we can discuss the economic policies, social issues, and all of that we can. But as a basis, we still maintain decency. Then I think that the discussion can be proactive, and and I'm willing to change my mind on a lot of things. There is only one thing that I will never change my mind: Christ is King. That's all. Everything else. And I know that some of you will be like, but that's bias. Yeah, I recognize the bias. I absolutely recognize. That's the only thing I'll never change my mind on. But everything else, I'm always open to change my mind on everything else, exception that. But then again, I respect yours if you disagree. Totally. Thank you, Raymond. Giga. Raymond Ibrahim is a good war historian specialist specializing in Islam. Yeah, which is, of course, outside my area of expertise. I don't know almost anything. He agrees that not all Muslims are radical, but his example is just because Schindler helped Jews doesn't mean moderate. Sorry, moderate. That word is real. Yeah, no, so I don't know this, but I'll definitely check him out and see what he thinks. Yeah, totally. Jesus is Lord. Amen, Jasper Owens. Sean Downbore, I'm just going to give you money because I find your opinion completely out of real life and I find it funny. I'm good with that. So at that point, you do that and we both benefit from it. Why not? Absolutely. Cool. Hey, Daniel Fabro, good to have you here. Thank you for being here. So, uh, da, 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 da. Let's see. Joel Seth was asking, didn't Iran lower the age of consent to 9? Gosh, I hope not. They're just getting their... Yeah, I mean, I hope not. I hope that's not true. If it's true, that's gross. Should we return to paganism if you want? Not me, but feel free. Let me see. Yeah, there are some other super chats that I want to thank you guys for. Yeah, the usage of the word liberate is a bit of a red flag for me. And it's something that whenever a politician uses that word, I'm like, I don't know. You're here to fact check me? Absolutely, old nuggets. I appreciate that. Thank you. Let me see. Zana asks, do you believe in a two-state solution? Many U.S. Christians see the return of Christ as tied directly to Israeli domination. What are your thoughts? I haven't got a clue what this means. Like, I don't know what this two-state solution is. No idea. I have no idea. So I don't know what that is. But I do know that I want to say thank you, Ray Gonzalez, for sending 5 Metatron gift memberships. Thank you very much. Always appreciated your generosity. Thank you so much. Who cares what Wikipedia says? Yeah, Wikipedia is never a good source. I mean, sometimes it gives you good bibliography so that at least you can go and look stuff up. I'll give him that. But in general, it is what it is. In opposition to the West, Muhammad married. Yeah. Again, I don't know anything about Islam, so which is why I don't talk about Islam. But obviously, as a Christian, my strongest disagreement with Islam is that they don't consider Jesus as Lord. And that's my strongest disagreement with them. Yeah. Oh, the independent Palestine and independent Israel. I did hear that. I don't know if it's a good idea, though, because I don't understand the geopolitics. So if I just told you now, yes, it's a great idea, or no, there should be just one single state, I will be speaking completely out of the blue. I don't know, because I don't know the situation there. So that's why I don't have an opinion on it. I can have absolutely an opinion on leave the innocents alone, and I do, but I do not have an opinion on that because I don't know the geopolitics and what that would entail. So there is that. Yeah, it's true that Muslims do consider Jesus to be an important prophet. That's true. I think that's a major area of disagreement with Jews because Jews don't consider to be Jesus anything, as far as I understand. Jews meaning the Jewish religion. Talok, tell me here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Talos. I'm not going to say. So you say Christ is king. You say is exactly the same as this statement here. If you're cool with one, you got to be cool with the other. Tell me the last time that someone said Christ is king and blew something up, though. You see where I'm going with my problem with extremism? You find me one person that did this and exploded a subway station. So they're not exactly the same. They would be exactly the same if the person who is saying this, which I don't even know what it means, but I know what it is, but I don't know what it literally means. I only know the meaning of this word, but I do not know the actual meaning of this word in Arabic, so I don't even know what it is. But I do know there are situations with the people who say this, blow shit up. So they're not exactly the same, are they? King is an insult to Christ? No, not really, because he said, my kingdom is not of this world. He never denied it. He's a king in the other world. Oh, it means God is greatest, I see. So the words are nice, but the problem is the people that I've heard them use it, when they use them in those scenarios, then that sentence gains a socio-political meaning. Once again, I don't think is the same as Christ is King, which I will continue to say unapologetically until the day I'm dead, while respecting atheists among you, obviously. I'm not one of those that's like, you will burn in hell. Never. I don't do that. But I will continue to say it because people are not screaming that and blowing shit up. Exactly, below-eyed. Exactly. They're not the same. Absolutely, they're not the same. Yeah. It's more similar to Hallelujah. Oh, I see, Evil Black. Thank you for the explanation. Thank you. Metatron is a Jew? No. I'm an Italian Christian. So you were telling me Armin Navabi. Yeah, I'll definitely check him out and see what he says. Thank you for the suggestion. I appreciate that. Reuben, do you believe in hell? Yes, I do believe in hell. Not in the medieval sense, though. But yes. Actually, it's funny. The other day, I found someone in the comments who was like, "Oh, I can't believe that you believe that like in creation." And I'm like, "Why? Why wouldn't a Christian believe that God created the earth? What type of Christian would I be? If you don't believe it because you believe in only in what science presents and you haven't seen enough evidence and therefore you don't believe in that, I respect that. But once you take a position of faith, isn't it to be assumed that I'm going to believe at least the core tenets of that faith? We can discuss details because, I mean, that's what Christians do anyways. We discuss and debate on marginal areas of doctrine. Like, I don't believe in limbo, if we're going to put one. But yeah. Likewise, though, I'd like to underline that I do believe in science. So I think there are plenty of areas of overlap between faith and science. So I'm not one of those who's like, science is nonsense. I know that those type of Christians exist. I'm not one of those. And I also don't believe, I'm not a young earth creationist. If you are, I respect your choice. I think you're wrong, but it's fine. Absolutely, yeah. And Empu presents a very good point. And you say, is science not the act of discovery? Even a Christian can practice science. Well, of course, the origins of science was, a lot of early scientists were Christians. In our day and age, it's true to say that I would say the majority of scientists, percentage-wise, are atheists or agnostic. But there are still some scientists who are Christian. And yeah. No, I think they're different things. I would disagree with you, Golden Age. I think science and religions are different. They are very different things. And I wouldn't use one to analyze the other. Like, I wouldn't use my faith to build a computer because I'm going to fail. Likewise, I'm not going to use science to try and prove God because I think it's outside of the sphere of what science is all about. And that's it. But I believe in both when they are applied into their own sphere. I will use science to build computer engineering stuff. I mean, we use science all the time. Saying you don't believe in science, it's nonsense because then you don't believe in the headphones. However, yeah, I'm going to use faith to try to approach God. And that's me. That's my choice. It's fine if you don't want to. Totally. Thank you, Jimmy Dean. Iran is majority Shia and Hamas Houthis are Sunni. Yeah, I don't know what that means. Israel continues using the narrative Iran is proxy attacking, but I doubt due to regional differences. And I unfortunately don't know how to comment on that, but I appreciate you sharing your opinion on that. And what have we got? Moloke, thank you for the support. Christ is my Lord. I started going to church recently and going to be baptized soon. Good. Welcome among us. Check out Apologetics Roadshow to know more about Islam. I will. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for the support. And I'll check. I'll see what they have to say. Science isn't invented, it's discovered. Scientific notions, I agree. Like, for instance, I don't know, the second law of thermodynamics exists and then you discover it. Science itself, it's the method though. So it could be argued that science is made, like the process, the method, and it is built because if humans stop existing tomorrow, so does science. But the discoveries are still there. Mathematics, science, the laws are still there. It could be argued either way. Kind of depends, and we would have to go into really the nitty-gritty details of the semantics of what we're actually saying. Thank you, Brandon. I'm similar to you, Metatron. I'm a Christian, and I believe in a much older human civilization and an older earth than traditional Christianity would suggest. Thank you for being you. Absolutely, thank you. And also, I don't know this tradition because it's just as I say, the young earth creationism is based on a specific interpretation of the counting of years of the Methuselah and all the early prophets, right? They calculate that all the way down back to Adam. and then they come up with a number. But I think the calculation is incorrect. And also you have to consider the fact, and it's a very strong position, if you, because we're talking about the earth, then you have to go into Genesis before Adam and Eve, literally Genesis 1:1. And therefore, when once we discussed the 7 days of creation, are they days or are they periods of time? So you go into the linguistics of it. And if they're periods of time, since there are other areas of scripture, I'm not going to go deeply into it because I don't want to talk about religion right now, but I just want to give you a little hint and then I'll make a video about it. But there are areas in the Bible where day is used in a way that it suggests that, at least from the perspective of God, that doctrinally speaking, that day could be 1,000 years already, or an even longer and extended period of time. And if that's the case, then it becomes a situation where day is just a period of time. And then personally, I don't believe it's actually physically 7 days. I don't believe that. Having read the scriptures in the original language, I do not believe that that's what it means. But in general, yeah, I see where they are coming from. I just think the calculations are wrong. My day lasts millennia, yeah. Do I reject evolution, Mr. Metatron? No, but I don't consider it to be the beginning of everything. So basically, I'm one of those, I don't know if there is a term for it. In other words, I do believe the science. I do believe the science. But so if you show me that, yes, species on this earth evolved based on the evolutionary pressures that they interact, that they are exposed to, absolutely, yeah, I believe that. I don't have a problem believing that. I just don't think, in my worldview, anything that occurs in the natural world is ignited by the maker. Everything. So whenever you show me something that science proves, then to me, it would be like, okay, so that was created by the maker. In other words, to me, evolution doesn't cancel out God simply because it would be like saying that a video game has a set of rules, but these rules do not cancel, even if they work independently, they still don't cancel out Bethesda. They still don't cancel out the maker of said video game. They are the ones who wrote the code. So the presence of the code, once again, even if it works independently of the coders and the programmers, doesn't delete the presence of the programmers. Now, this is not proof of the existence of God at all. It is not. But it's just to let you see why, to me, whatever science discovers doesn't, when you show me, but there is this thing and it doesn't appear that it needs a creator, I'm like, okay, but the code was created, in my opinion. And the reason why I'm calling it code is for the analogy. But then again, once again, science is not absolute, nor is it dogmatic. So something we believe now, in 100 years, it could be changed because now we believe differently because there is new evidence. So science is not dogmatic. It's just that it gives us hypotheses, then they become theories, and then they become laws, right? But things can change, and things have changed in the last 200 years, 500 years, 1,000 years. And so if you're really pro-science and you're like, I'm all about the science and I'm all about the evidence, then you shouldn't be dogmatic about stuff we consider to be even laws, because our understanding of said laws could and probably will change in the future. So to me, I do believe science when there is evidence, but I'm always open to the possibility that, yeah, science might be still get something wrong, and it does. So there is that. But I do believe in science, absolutely. You say Cadmo Zionists believe they must bring forth the Messiah, and yeah, of course, they're still waiting for the Messiah, don't they? So Jews will finally rule the world, and all the Jews will be their slaves. So I imagine only the extremists in the Jewish tradition believe this. I have to imagine. But then again, have I ever actually spoken directly to a Jew? I don't know, maybe. Never about religion, though. Thank you, D. Poma. Hey, Metatron, I'm one of your oldest fans since you had around 200,000 subs. Thank you. I'm an Arab Muslim. Greetings from Egypt. There you go. An open-minded Arab Muslim. I'm glad to have you here. Thank you very much. Clearly, he doesn't hate me. He knows I'm a Christian. Excellent example of what I was talking about. I have zero problems with Deep Omar. And I imagine, if he's a decent person, and you seem to be, that he will have a problem with those Muslims that instead hate me because I'm a Christian. I'm going to go out on a limb and assume that. So thank you for being here, man. Not a problem. Not a problem. W for gifted. I'm glad you got a membership. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Blue Eyed Devil, for the 5 Metatron memberships. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you. Metatron, you should watch Louis Theroux documentary, The Settlers, and pay attention to Daniela Weiss. That will dispel the lies of... Okay, I'll check it out. Absolutely. And again, when I read your, let me see, theories never become laws in science. Laws are mathematical descriptions of the world. Theories are the explanation for them. Well, if I misspoke, thank you for the correction. Basically, what I was trying to say is that people oftentimes use the word theory in a way that is not scientific. People say, oh, it's just a theory, but theory is pretty high up in the ranking of the scientific method. And but the absolutes usually are laws. But then again, thank you for the correction. I appreciate that. If I misspoke, I misspoke. So not a problem. How are things on Twitch? How are things on Twitch? You say the universe is 13.8 billion years old. Yeah, I have no problem believing that, by the way. If that's what the data shows, not a problem with me. We need glory to Pompey t-shirts and Pompey stuff. You know what? You're absolutely right. I wish I had your vision, my friend. But yeah, I'm definitely going to do it. Absolutely. Yeah, remember that, the blind truth. So I will try to learn as much as I can when it comes to any topic by listening to the people interested and then surrounding sources. I always try to do that, so I appreciate the invitation. When it comes to Christians that have done horrible things, of course they exist, and I don't support those. Yeah. Thank you, Molokai, for the support. I just feel like Mohammed is... I understand if that's your position, and it's fine for you to think that. I prefer... When I have a discussion, obviously, there will always be areas of strong disagreement. I personally prefer to first build on commonalities, areas of agreement, things that we agree on. We build upon those, and after having established that, then I like to dive into aspects that we would strongly disagree on and see if we can do it on the basis of civil discussion. Because if someone came to me and started insulting the things I believe in, do you think I'm going to be willing to listen to them afterwards, even if they were making good points? It's one of those things. None believe that all Gentiles will be slaves. That's silly. Yeah, I never heard of that, Veronica, either. It sounds like an exaggeration, personally. Yeah, don't question the science. I have a problem with don't question the science because questioning is the very basis. Did you know that, you know who was questioned tremendously during his career? Einstein. Einstein. No one thought, well, it's Einstein, so guys, what he says is dogma and we just have to believe it's gospel. No, that would be a religious approach, I say, as a religious man. So no, instead, science is based on questioning. And whenever people make a proposition, they want it to be attacked. This is why I attack a lot of professors that make statements. If they are offended by it, they're not being academics. You should want, when you make a statement about history, about science, about whatever you want within the realm of academia, you should want it to be attacked. Because then, if you were wrong, you will be debunked. Good. If your aim is the truth, great. But if you were right, now you got solidified because they couldn't take you down in your position. Good. We got the truth. So the academics that play victim when people attack their positions, they're not true academics. They're not. They're in the wrong field. They're in the wrong field at that point. Yeah. Do you think Deep Omar has Zahi Hawass book? I don't know. Man, it's in Zahi Hawass book. Absolutely. Yeah, me neither, TY. You say, I don't think traditional Christians necessarily support young Earth. It depends. I think Aquina's view on whether the universe is eternal is that both are fine, but if it's eternal, he still thinks it's from God. Totally, yeah. Yeah, no, not all Christians that are traditional are young Earth creationists. It's a subsection of Christians. Yeah, yeah. It's in my book. I love it's in my book, by the way. Man, how many times he said it. It was hilarious. It really was. As I say, when I read your super chats, if I'm skipping some words, I'm doing it because of YouTube, yellow dollar signs. I mean, I'm sure you know. I'm sure you know what I'm doing. And some super chats I show on screen, some super chats I don't show on screen because of the algorithm. So I hope you appreciate that. Hi, come here.
I don't want to stay long because I know you're busy.
No, it's totally
Do
fine.
you want a cheese?
I do want a cheese.
Okay.
I would love to have a cheese.
Okay. Because I didn't know if you were. Hey, do you want your Coke in here? The one, your James?
Oh yeah, actually, I don't mind. Yeah, yeah. I'd like a little
You like a little James?
Coca-Cola. Yeah, little James Coca-Cola. Hi, Meta Wife, says Melanie.
Hi.
Melanie's here.
A little James all night long. There's that song that's like a little
Look.
Ashley here at.
Oh no, yeah, of
I
course.
forgot how you said.
Mambo number 5.
That's what it is. A little.
We
what
got
is it?
James. We got James, guys.
But you know what I'm talking about.
Of course I do. Yeah, yeah.
A little Sarah.
Yeah, in my life,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
of course, yeah. We need to be careful singing though,
Oh, my
because
bad.
no,
Sorry.
I'm joking. It was a joke. Yeah.
I got my USA shirt on.
The barbarian has arrived. Love it.
Hi everybody.
Hello, hello.
Is it weird having like a regular Coke when all we drink is Diet Coke?
Oh yeah, because that has sugar.
That has sugar, yeah.
I forgot about it. Yeah. Well, I won't drink the whole thing then, because I do want to have my chocolate later.
Hi everybody. Oh, I see that. Thank you for the donations.
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff,
no, people have been
everybody.
incredible. I'm full screen. Yes, yes. So people have been incredible, and yeah,
Yeah, you guys are so generous. Thank you so much to everyone that's donated or
Thank you,
become
thank you.
members. That's so kind.
appreciate.
I'm actually love the stars. Oh, thank you, Lady Jennifer. Look at the back.
Lady Jennifer, you should, yeah, very,
can
very,
you-
very patriotic.
can you
Sorry, very,
scooch over?
very patriotic wife.
Can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I found it on TikTok and I thought it was really nice. The name of the TikTok, it's called Off Tropic, like topic but tropic, because a lot of her stuff is like tropical. She does like hoodies that are like kind of beachy themed, so off tropic. But I think this is face reveal. Hello, I took my makeup off a minute ago, so I don't look the best.
You look great.
But hi everybody, how are you doing? Does she like the helmet? I love all his helmets. They're so cool. Especially this one's, well, the frog mouth is my favorite, but this one's my
Frogmouth.
second favorite.
Frogmouth lady. Yeah, let me see.
Oh, thank you. Someone said my hair color is cool. Thank you. It's kind of like a burgundy red. Anyways, I don't want to keep you because I know you
Oh no,
guys
it's
are
fine.
talking
It's fine.
about
Not a
stuff.
problem. Not a problem. Yeah, yeah.
And I think people want to watch for you.
Oh no, no,
And,
you're much more charming.
Oh, hi Twitch. Hi everybody. What is it?
Yeah, Miss
You
Metatron.
look great. Thank you. Let's see. Hi Twitch, everybody.
Hi, hi.
You have a nice voice. Thank you, Tiny Wonders. That's.
I agree.
Love having the special guest. Thank you, sailors.
Absolutely, absolutely. The meta lady,
Yes.
says Benjamin.
Hi, Benjamin. Alrighty, well, I'm gonna go. I started listening. I finished one book, and now I'm gonna. Well, it's like an audiobook, and now I'm going to
Yeah,
start
nice.
another audiobook.
Mm-hmm.
It's a sci-fi one. It's about space.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, I'm excited. Anyways, bye, chat. Bye, everybody.
Bye,
Have a
bye.
good night.
Thank
Let me know
you.
if you need anything.
Absolutely. Thank
Did
you, thank
already
you.
eat your cheese?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
It was great. Cheese was fantastic. Thank you. All right, let me
Do you
check.
know how much longer you're gonna be?
No.
Okay.
Okay,
Do you
so
need the arrow on anymore? Are you good?
no, it's fine. Yeah,
Okay.
thank you. Okay, so we were looking at the super chats. So let me see what we've got. Have you heard of Raymond Ibrahim, an author? No, I haven't. Cozy, thank you for the suggestion. Yeah, we read this one. Dinosaurs. What about dinosaurs? Blue-eyed devil. I think it's a fact that dinosaurs existed, if that's what you're asking. And then again, watch the documentary. I will check out the documentary, absolutely, Cadmus. And then I don't know what this means, but I'm not going to Google it. Everyone calls the people that follow the Quran extremists. Not everyone. If you follow the Bible, what do you call those people? Your room looks great, by the way. Oh, thank you that you like the room. I appreciate that. Yeah. No, I don't judge. I don't do that. Yeah, exactly. Respect and understand. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's the reason is because particularly lately, to be honest with you, I don't know how to read your name, but to be honest with you, if you look at the kind of people that unfortunately there are a lot of people that enter for example, Europe, and then they make statements like they're going to replace us, like they're going to breed us out, and I wish you could keep those in control because they give you a bad name. You know what I mean? Because of course, when I hear something like that, or they start, I don't know, screaming and saying stuff against Christians in Christian countries, like, understand our point of view. Like, if I went as a Christian to a Muslim country, it's not like I'm gonna start screaming. Like, would you? I don't think people would like it that I've started saying stuff about screaming against Islam, screaming against Christianity, saying I'm gonna replace you. Like, of course not. It's just common sense. And I think that's what's. It's just that these people are so loud. The ones that are hateful are so loud, and then there are situations with governments like in the UK right now. They're trying to pass laws that are weird, for what I understand when it comes to this. And then of course this creates a really bad public perception. So yeah, but I agree with you. There is a situation where I wouldn't want extremists to represent, but then something needs to be done about these extremists then. So then we can start talking with the peaceful ones like you, and I have no problems with you, right? I only have a problem with the extremists. And that's how it is, unfortunately. I think Aquina's view is similar to Ibn Sina's idea. The universe maybe is eternal, but if it's eternal, the eternal is slightly different from God's. Yeah, of course. I can see that. Totally. Muhammad said it doesn't matter if a person claims that an influencer is balanced or not. What matters is they say the truth. Yeah, sure. Dancing, okay. 9/11. Yeah, I hate the dancing. Yeah, I think if you're talking about the TikToks that I think you're talking about, yeah. So yeah, and the 9/11 situation is I can't stand the people like again Frogan wants to make a cake to celebrate 9/11. Get out of here. Cozy Pug, thank you for being here. Raymond Ibrahim has books and podcasts about the Crusades. Oh, okay, just for context. Yeah, that's something I would like, definitely fits the channel. I need to make a video on the Crusades, by the way. I have in the past, but it'd be nice to do it again. So that could be good to see. Godfoot says, Daddy, I'm behind on stream, but if you're looking for unbiased military analysis on boys, check out, yeah, Cappy Army. Yeah. He's the one, I think. He's the channel. Let me check if it's the one I think it is. Is it the guy that used former military? Yes, this guy. This guy's pretty good. I watched a few of his videos. Thank you for reminding me the name, because I watched a few of his videos and it looked like he was just looking at the facts and military analysis of the tactics employed. And I thought it was really good. So, in fact, I wouldn't be able to guess this guy's politics. For what I watched, no idea. And that's always a good thing, because then it tells me that he's not pushing a message and he's just trying to be an unbiased analyst, at least for what I've seen so far. So yeah, good channel. For what I could see, I think it's a good channel. You'll tell me if you disagree. What do I think of a Sam Piker? What don't I think of a Sam Piker? Yeah, I don't like him one bit. That's what I think. The truth will out, says Blue-Eyed Devil. Yeah. Yeah, I'll make some videos on Outlast. Absolutely. I'll post them on the gaming channel. Eventually, I'll get there as well. Yeah, I'm always on the side of the innocents personally, Cadmus. So as long as you are an innocent person, then I will support you, and I don't even care what color you have, what religion you have, whatever. If you're innocent, I hope that you're fine. That's my moderate position right there. Yeah. Anyways, I do need to go get a drink, guys. You don't like him and don't know him? No, I do know Hassan Piker. I never said I don't know him. Sounds like a straw man you're trying to build, which is strange because usually you're very balanced in your comments. Maybe you misunderstood him. Of course, I know who Hassan Piker is. I watched quite a bit of his content before making my mind, and I absolutely made my mind. Now, if you like Hassan Piker, great, watch him. I mean, more power to you. But the way he has, again, the stuff he said about 9/11 and Frogan, absolutely not. Not at all. Absolutely not. So yeah, no, I don't support that. Check History Legends. Sounds interesting. Watch The Stones Cry Out. I'll check that one. Thank you, Jimmy. The 9/11 stuff that Hassan Piker said was a very long time ago, so I don't know if he changed his mind about it. But I don't think he did because recently his one of his main moderators and person that he works with a lot, Frogan, she said during a live stream on Twitch, she did this. She made this, and we'll watch it. We'll watch the stuff. I'll show it to you if I can. But she made this live stream where the chat goal, you know how we do chat goals, and I tell you guys, if I reach this number of subscribers, I'll braid my hair, or I'll play this game, or I'll put on the mask, or I'll put on armor. Funny things to celebrate an achievement. She said she would make, if she reached a certain number of members, she would make a cake to represent the Twin Towers and the plane going in the Twin Towers to laugh and celebrate 9/11. When you say something like that, you are disgusting to me. So there is that. Because then I'm not willing to listen to anything you have to say. And maybe some of the things you would have said when it comes to economics, when it comes to social issues, I could have learned, I could have agreed, but after you say something like that, and she did, then no. At that point, it's a massive, huge, gigantic no. Particularly, and it even annoys me to a higher degree to think that someone who says something like this lives in America. Why are you here then? What? You're enjoying the freedom of speech that I wouldn't have if I went to a country where there is no freedom of speech, and if I say anything against the government and anything of the sorts, I would end up in a cell. But you're enjoying the freedom of speech that you can say stuff like that. And you're enjoying the capitalism, you're enjoying the money you're making on Twitch. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, it really gets my blood. It's extremely distasteful. Absolutely, Cozy Pug. Because this is the same people that then will tell you that I should feel sorry for the innocent Palestinian lives. And I do. But why aren't you feeling sorry for the innocent lives that died during 9/11? Make it make sense. At this point, I'm the unbalanced one who feels sorry for every innocent life. Palestinian, Israeli, Iranian. If they're innocent, they're children. Of course I want them to live. Of course I feel sorry, my heart aches when I know that innocents are dying like that. Obviously. But I also feel sorry when I went to New York and I saw the monument with all the names, all the people that died during 9/11, and you laugh about it? Fuck off. No. Yeah, no, of course. Hassan is not as bad as Frogan. I agree with that one, Benjamin. Absolutely. I agree with that. I'll give you that much, although then again, it's not that difficult to be better than the likes of Frogan. So there is that. Thank you for that. Absolutely, Louis. 100%. If you don't like how I'm running the stream, Garbs, you don't have to be here. You know what I'm saying? Man, I found that laughing at people that get offended is a good way to cope with it. It really helps. It's great. Base Metatron, thank you very much, Mike. And again, because he's saying that I said nothing in 2 hours. No, what I just said is a very important message that a lot of people are forgetting. It's a very important message, if not the most important. I have to refer to that passage says saw. I don't. Yeah, but I can't read it. I don't have it. I mean, I don't read it personally. If you want to read it, feel free. I might have a look at it if there is something congruent to this discussion. But other than that, you read your holy book. I'll read mine, or read no books at all that are considered. Who's Froggen? If you don't know, maybe it's better. I might make a dedicated stream though. Jasper Owens, thank you so much for the membership. Really appreciate that. Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I agree, Shinigami Maxi on Twitch, 100%. It's just one of those things. Let me see. Plus, I mean, why wouldn't I read the super chats now that I think about it, Gobs? Why would it? Would you want me to be disrespectful to people who are donating their hard-worked money? I won't. I will read it. I've even read people who super chatted against me. I could have skipped that. You do see that. Like, I have the power of skipping it. Like, if someone super chat to insult me, I don't have to read it. I still read it because I still respect the fact that someone is sending money that they worked for. I don't take that for granted, like some influencers do. Like the universe revolves around them. It's like it's all given, like something that they expect. No. Like Arius' view on God, the Sons of Eternity, and God, the Father of Eternity, both eternal but different. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that specific position, the doctrinal position, so I wouldn't be able to comment on it. I mean, History Legends on YouTube is a channel. It's a channel. I'll check him out. Yeah, no, I understood that it was a channel, of course. Yeah. Another spicy topic. Thought on extremist Indian nationalism. I've seen some pretty insane stuff said. Surprised you haven't covered it. I've never seen it. The only thing I've seen, one professor, an Indian professor, who said some stuff that basically was like some Afrocentrists are, but for Indians. Like he was saying that the Romans were Indian, that the Greeks were Indian, and I was like, how does this guy even have a following? Yeah, so I'm aware of that side, but I have no idea about Indian nationalism. I don't know anything about it, I'll be honest with you. So I don't know. Of course, Wing of Shu, thank you for the donation. I've seen some TikToks that really disgusted me on people celebrating innocents dying. That's horrible. It is horrible. I love peace. That's what I love. The only type of war that I justify is defensive, but that can be used. Unfortunately, propaganda does use that. They call everything defensive. But in general, when it's true defensive, so someone is invading my country, yeah, I have to defend myself. It's basically the larger version of castle doctrine. Someone enters my house. I mean, I'm all for, turn the other cheek. However, if someone enters my house, I think I'm in the right to defend my family, my loved ones. In fact, it is my duty to do so, even if it means using force, and I will. So double tap center of mass. So I'm just saying, and that's fine at that point, because it's an extraordinary situation, and personally, that is the just thing to do, to defend your loved ones. You're called to do it. So yeah. Watch GDF as many suggested. Yeah. I'm gonna write a list. I got a lot of content to watch. Thank you, Molokai, for becoming a member of the channel. Very much appreciated. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, I got it. GDF, no worries. It's gonna get written down. I'm gonna have someone write it for me because it's a lot of things, but not a problem. I've got editors. They'll write everything down for me. I've got a nice list, and I'll watch a lot of stuff. And the ghost says, I saw one Hindu nationalist saying that all Greek sources are Western propaganda to make Alexander look better, and that he lost at Hydaspes. No one says anything back to them, and I'm kind of worrying. I'll look it up because that could be interesting for some debunking, actually. But yeah, I've seen some of that stuff. I just didn't know it was connected to Indian nationalism. I just thought it was just some people just mentioning stuff. So is Metatron a Glock guy or a Smith & Wesson? I'm a revolver guy. I agree, Benjamin, 100%. So as you see, we've got positions in agreement. Yeah. Defend yourself and your loved ones is immoral not to. That's why I respect America. In Italy, self-defense, almost non-existent. Like someone comes into your house, they might sue you if you try and defend yourself, even if they're armed. Like Italy's nonsense when it comes to that. It really is. I am 100% about castle, all about castle doctrine and stand the ground and defend yourself and your loved ones. Absolutely. Same in Canada. Oh, goodness gracious. Two more sources, Glenn Greenwald and Carrie Wedler. Thank you. Sounds like California. I don't know how it works. I know it varies state by state. Does California not have castle doctrine? Yeah, but one of my choices of what state I choose to live in is kind of based on that, as well as many other aspects, including the food, by the way. Am I going to do research on stream? Well, no, I don't want to bore you to death. You're a Beretta guy. Yeah, Beretta is good. Full on Italian, yeah. Do I consider myself a libertarian? No, because even though on some aspects I am the freedom guy, even some of my haters called me the freedom guy, and I appreciate that actually. But I wouldn't take the whole thing, the whole box, because I've heard libertarians make statements that I was like, yeah, out of your mind. So no, I'm not. I don't consider myself a libertarian. I prefer to use the term moderate, and then we can see case by case who I agree with on what issues. A libertarian, maybe. How about a libertarian? I could be a libertarian alien. Yeah, I've heard of Expedition Bible actually. I had forgotten about it completely. I'm modertarian. There is a video by Kirsty History on Alexander that you have to debunk. It is over 1 million views and no one stands up to debunk it. It's outrageous. I'll absolutely refer it to my lead researcher. And if he thinks it's debunk worthy, then yeah, we'll tackle it. We'll leave it to me. So I'm going to write that one down right now, because usually when it comes to stuff that needs to be sent to my, yeah, I'll just write it like this. There we go, done. When it comes to stuff that needs to be sent to my lead researcher, he needs a little, you know, I need to send it a few days before. So yeah, thank you for that. Please, when you say my name, it's an open I'm Spanish. Molokai. I see. Molokai then. Molokai. Thanks. Remember to wear your skeptic hat when people recommend their pet sources. Oh, of course, obviously. The lone voice is the desert is inherently suspect, and as an academic, you know. Yeah, no, I'll check it, obviously. Yeah, I take the recommendations, and I do watch them, but I still use my own critical thinking. And if they make statements that are historical or scientific, I will double check them with professionals. I always do that. If they overlap my own areas of expertise, whether it be linguistics or certain historical aspects, then I'll be able to double check it myself. Yeah. Did you ever do an Amon Hillman episode? It's in the making, spiritual. Sam Hyde, the comedian. I don't know who he is, Joshua, sorry. Metatron, what do you think? Will this conflict escalate further, or will it stop again for a year or two? I hope it stops. It feels like it has already escalated. Didn't they retaliate already? I thought they retaliated. Once his video is out, I'll probably react to it, because he's usually pretty good. Once again, David, I don't know what to tell you, David Pacheco. If you think the stream is boring, rather than typing it, isn't it easier to click away and maybe watch Overwatch at this point? That's all I'm saying. If I go into this is why me and you are so different, I guess. When I go into a stream, some streams I love, but maybe I go into a stream and I'm like, nah, this is not interesting. I just click away. Why would I type, the stream is so boring, blah, 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 blah. Unless you're just trolling to get a reaction of me, in which case I guess you did. You succeeded. Which is fine. It's not like I'm annoyed. I mean, it's just I just find it so distant from the way I am into the very essence of my core of my being that if I click a stream and I don't like it, I leave it. It's like that. Is it a control mania that people have? They need to control things? I don't know what it is. I would like to understand it from a psychological standpoint. It is fascinating. Yeah, that's funny. Libertarians even think other libertarians are crazy. Yeah, there are as many libertarian views as actual libertarians. I agree. There is a woke one and a MAGA ones. I know. I've seen that actually, which is why I was so confused with the term libertarian, because I've heard libertarians say stuff that made them sound like ultra conservatives, and then I heard libertarians that sounded like identity politics proponents, and I was like actual activists, and I'm like, how is this? How is this the same movement? I was so confused. That's because Metatron has standards and these trolls do not. Well, the trolls are trolls. It is one of those things. But yeah, I think libertarianism is a must be a massive spectrum. Yeah. Is it true that there is one specific group within the libertarian movement that is actual neo Austrian painters fan club? Or is that false? Because I've heard that. Ben Shapiro is or was a libertarian. I know he defines himself as a libertarian, but to me he sounds just like any other conservative. Maybe he's a libertarian conservative. Perhaps. Well, I'll give you that though. Sometimes on some topics he does sound more libertarian than a Michael Owens. Michael Owen sometimes has made statements. I've watched this debate between Michael Owen. No, sorry, am I mispronouncing it? How is it called? Knowles, Michael Knowles. Sorry, I watched this debate between Mr. Knowles and Brad Palumbo, and I agreed with Palumbo, to be honest, on a few issues, because on some aspects, even though I think he's very intelligent, Michael Knowles, but there are some positions he makes where I'm like, are you for small government? Because this sounds like big government to me. So there are a few positions that he made, unless I misunderstood him, but I don't think I did, where he said stuff where he wants the government to intervene, and I'm like, no, let's not give too much power to the government. So on those issues, I actually agreed with Palumbo more. But yeah. Ben Shapiro has always been a traditional conservative. That's what he looks. That's what he sounds like to me. But he did say he's libertarian. So I don't know, why does he say that? Then is it PR? A bit like what is it called? A bit like Subways and Jersey Mike's. Jersey Mike's is the objectively better Subway restaurant, but Jersey Mike's call their white bread. Instead, Subways calls their white bread Italian, which is white bread with better PR, honestly. Jasper Owens says, I'm not related to Candace, just so you know. Hey, okay. Thank you for letting us know. Thank you for letting us know. Yeah, Q Bandon says libertarians, generally speaking, stand for limited government, live and let live mentality. I agree with the limited government part, and usually I am a live and let live mentality. The only positions in which we have to look at case by case, though, because as the live and let live mentality, as long as your freedoms doesn't then overpower mine. So there are some issues where I wouldn't agree with a live and let live position, but particularly when it comes to kids. But when it comes to adults, yes, I think an adult should be allowed, as long as they're not hurting anyone, that they should be allowed to live however they see fit. I'm not gonna, and particularly when it comes to the government, and in that position, I would agree with that. Yeah. Yeah, and then B. Vargas says liberalism is live and let live on paper. We'll have to see if you mean modern liberalism or classical liberalism, which are really different. No, I know that Ben Shapiro is Jewish. Yes, for sure. I know that, yeah. Doesn't the alt-right hate his guts because of it? At least that's what he was saying at one point. Thank you, Sirius Rect, for the subscription with Prime. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Very much appreciate. Oh, he was talking about classical liberalism. That's what I thought, yeah. That's what it sounded like. Yeah, libertarianism finds its core in classical liberalism, small government, personal liberty, free market enterprise, social responsibility. I am a libertarian and strive for these things. Well, yeah, I agree with those. I have nothing against those. I'm just saying, though, that I don't think every libertarian thinks like that, for what I could see. I've seen a massive spectrum of opinions. Sometimes people descriptively say they are libertarian, whilst they do not follow the full doctrines of the Libertarian Party. I see. Yeah. Baron says, I've always seen Ben Shapiro as alt-right. He can't possibly be alt-right because the alt-right is ethno-focused and they hate Jews. I don't know if they changed it now, but I've seen a lot of anti-Semitic talk in the alt-right, so he cannot be alt-right by definition. At this point, I think it would be better to just describe him as a full-on conservative, maybe even an ultra-conservative. You want to say a religious ultra-conservative. There are plenty of other, I think, nomenclature that we can use. I just think alt-right is the one that we can't use on the likes of Ben Shapiro for obvious reasons. Exactly, says Scarlett. Yeah. That's what I would say. Because that's the thing. I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't really want to keep going into that, but just to say that's what I think. Alt-right are extremists. I agree. You know, it's kind of funny because at one point, when I made my videos, where I started to tackle on topics like what was the ethnicity of the ancient Egyptians, or I don't know, these kind of topics, and I was accused by some people, oh, you are now part of the alt-right pipeline. And I was like, what do you mean? Because I'm interested in seeing the stupidity of the accusation, but I would like to, why? And then they said, well, because when you make this topic, even though you claim that you're not being racist, and of course I'm not, then some alt-right people will watch it and they will do it because of whatever racist reason. And I'm like, you know, if an alt-right young person who has been drawn into the likes of the alt-right, if they end up into my video, I say good. Because maybe I can change their mind, since I'm a very moderate person, I'm very sensible, and I'm there just, even if they click for the wrong reasons. When they are exposed to facts, considering the fact that what my detractors never admit is that whenever I tackle a topic, I always say, this does not come from a place of hatred. I have no problems with people because of their ethnicity. Like, they will literally be exposed to moderate talk. And hopefully, if they're young and impressionable, maybe they'll be like, you know what? I thought that these guys were cool, but this other guy, meaning me, has been reasonable, he's presented the fact, he's still debunking the nonsense, but he's also not doing it in a hateful manner. Maybe I can get them out of it. So I welcome them at that point. Good that they are in there. They will be exposed to someone who is not. So I do not believe that from an educational standpoint, even if this was happening, that some topic titles may attract, let's call them the wrong folks. Well, good. They'll be exposed to some proper, non-hateful reason and logics. And at that point, I think that can only be beneficial. At least that's my position on it. Q Bandon asks, what is the alt-right? Alt stands for alternative. So they kind of started as right-wingers that disconnected from the standard right-wing political parties and kind of made their own, and sometimes they've been violent. They are very ethnically focused, like with the white superiority and that kind of stuff. And so yeah, that's usually what the alt-right is. I don't know if they're still like this to this day, but anyways, I don't think there is that many of them anyways, because they get demonetized everywhere. You say it doesn't exist anymore. I kind of tend to agree. I think they've been demonetized into oblivion, to be honest. Yeah. That's my understanding of it. I've watched a few documentaries on it. They might still be some people, but I don't think they have much of a position there. They're still here. I do believe they're still here, Orion, but definitely I think it's a small. I don't think there's that many. I see Veronica. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, sure. As I say, I don't like extremists anywhere. I don't like toxic people. I like people that we can sit down and discuss policy at that point if we really have to, or social issues. I don't know what that means. Pigs 76, but thank you for the support. I haven't got a clue what that means. And Giga says, to say alt-right or far-right are usually far-left. Yeah, but then again, I do use these terms, but I guess differently from far-left individuals, I don't call everyone these terms that doesn't agree with me. So if someone is objectively a far-right person, that's the person I'm going to call far-right. What I'm not going to do is to call someone who's even moderately, slightly right of center, you're far-right. I don't do that. It's pointless. It's useless to do that, isn't it? Yeah. Baron asks, would Christian nationalists fall into a similar category as alt-right? They are different as being further right than right. Well, yeah, no, I think Christian nationalism, it depends. Some people really go nuts on that, like ethno-state and that kind of situation, but they're still separate. They're different from the alt-right, the way I understand it. Again, I'm not a political commentator, so I'm just sharing opinions here. But yeah, obviously, usually when you go into that situation, you're going pretty far. But there are various. I think it's a spectrum, isn't it? I'm Italian, lol, talking about America. Yeah, because I live in America, so of course I talk about America. This is the politics that affects me. Now, if I was still in Italy, I would have told you about Italian politics. But now I live in America, so I'm interested in American politics a lot more than I'm interested in Italian politics. You're wrong, villain troll, and that's a. I'll show you. You're wrong. You say moderate right is a lie. Everything at right is far right. Well, you're wrong. You're objectively wrong. And this kind of talk is what gets people from the center to the right. Because what you do is that someone who maybe would have agreed with you on social issues, would have agreed with you with many things, but perhaps they like the traditional family, perhaps they like freedom of speech, perhaps they like things that don't really have that make you center right, then you call them far right. You know what that does? It makes them far right. So I don't respect this because the strategy is counterproductive. It doesn't work. Of course, there are people who are moderately left, and there are people who are moderately right. Absolutely. It's a fact. So at this point, you are the liar. And I am sorry to hear that because you've been brainwashed by, in this case, far-left propaganda. Propaganda is on both sides, by the way, and this is a historical fact. Let me just look at the history. But I'm saying it's not true. Of course the moderate right exists. Obviously it exists. I think you need to, nice job, Metatron, thank you. I think you just need to go outside and touch grass because that idea is the product of echo chambers. And it is what it is, unfortunately. You're right of Stalin, therefore you're far right, Metatron. I'm definitely right of Stalin. Well, depends, because one of my detractors, and I might make a response video because this guy is just all over the place. He called me a grifter, blah, blah, blah. And then, but he's the same, he's very left. But he said that Stalin is far right. And I'm like, you live in an alternate reality at that point, my friend. So, yeah. I love that, Evil Black. Thank you for that. Did you see the article that found that left-wingers are more close-minded in today's world? No, I haven't seen it, but is it unbiased? Because then again, usually these generalizations the studies are kind of laughable. They take a little pool, they make statistical ideas, and in reality, it's again, it's laughable because the pool is too small. So, I mean, I don't know. Yeah. Someone failed history. Stalin is far left. Of course it was. It's an obvious thing. I mean, but yeah, it's it was a fascinating thought process though. So I do want to make a response video because of it. Thank you, Jason, for explaining. Yeah. The statement was the idea of neutralizing the military power and eliminating the threat of nuclear power weapons. Yes, thank you for that. I did watch that. I wonder if it's true. I would like to see some data of that because anyone can say anything, and it would be nice to see some data. But yeah. Anyways, I'm going to. I'll be right back. I need to go get a drink, and I'll be right back, guys. I'm gonna put. Yeah, I think this guy is cool as a. No, I'll put the chair. I'll put the chair though. Okay, cool. So I'll be right back, guys. Please don't mistreat the chair, and thank you. Welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you. Thank you. All right, guys. So, am I sitting on the chair or is the chair sitting on me? Wow. Wow. All right. So, let me see. Oh my gosh, Larry J. Larry J, my man. Larry J sent 20 Metatron gift memberships. Man, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much, W, in chat for Larry J. I really appreciated that. Let me double check the other super chats if I missed any. You should check out Nick Freitas. I will. He covers everything from politics, culture, and okay. And his channel is the Y Minutes and making the argument. He presents things very logically. I definitely will. Sounds like something I would enjoy watching. The chair is calling me names and staring at me. Yeah, I mean, the chair sometimes doesn't behave. Apologies for that. Did you see the article they found that? Yeah, I've already read this one. I think populism, like MAGA, was at one point labeled alt-right. Were they? I didn't know that. And yeah, I thought they were two separate things, honestly. But check out Sam Hyde LMAO. I will. Thank you. Yeah, I think I read everything so far. But then again, thank you so much, Larry. I really appreciate that. It was very, very generous of you. Thank you. Thank you. Gavin Hillick. I will. Absolutely. 1 second. Gavin Hillick. Let me see if I can find your chat. Apologies if I didn't see it. I'll read it now. Thank you for your patience, guys, and your support. Let's see. Gavin. I'm looking for it. I'll find it. But literally, guys, you've been amazing during this live stream. Thank you so much for all the suggestions, by the way, which is the main reason why I wanted to talk about it. I knew that you would have given me so many... there, I found it. So many good videos to watch and document myself. I highly recommend Brian Beletic of the new Atlas on Geopolitics. You'll appreciate his meticulous sourcing and sober analysis. Once again, I already love this. So yeah, totally. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Sorry for it took me a while, but here we are. Thank you, Faith Forged Games, for sending 10 Metatron memberships. Thank you so much. Man, you guys are awesome. You should check out Nick Freitas. He covers everything. Yeah, I did read that one. Thank you so much, guys. Very much appreciated. Yeah, that's a lot of members. Look at that. Animarchy history. No, Animarchy history. No, never. Late to the party. Don't worry, Faith Forged. The video, the VOD stays up after the live stream is over. So, yeah. You can always rewatch. It'd probably get demonetized anyways, but it's fine. I mean, it's not fine, but it's fine. Thomas Williamson, much love, Metatron. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. I wouldn't suggest Shigorath. I wouldn't put a link. If you want, you can just tell me the title. But if you put a link, first, I'm not going to click it because it's against channel policy. But also, you might get blocked by the system, and I want you to have that, to deal with that. So just just give me the title, and I can have a look at it. But then again, yeah. So, anyways, guys, one thing I wanted to do is, as we always do, I'm going to now give time to the members. So a lot of people became members now, and I want to give time and space to members to tell me what they think about this. So we're gonna swap. I will answer Jasper Owen's question, and then we're gonna swap to members only in chat for a little bit. So the question from Jasper Owens was, let me see. How did you decide to start your channel, and how did you choose your first video topic? Well, the topic-wise, I experimented. I started with languages, gaming, history, lots of different things, piano, playing the Chopin, and then I saw what worked and what I was enjoying doing the most, and that's how I decided to then focus. So there's nothing wrong with trying different things first. And when it comes to how I decided to start the channel, gosh, I think I just wanted to make fun videos for friends. I didn't even think this was ever going to happen, but here we are. YouTube blocks your Discord links. Yeah, I thought so. That's just how it is. I'll see if I can work with it next time, but yeah. Thank you, Daniel Fabro, for being here. Appreciate. Thank you very much. And I think we've got a new super chat. Of course, even during members-only chat, super chats still go through, by the way, just so you know. And Marvin Martin, I grew up in Bible Belt, hearing Middle East doomsday prophecies, but felt people like this only adds fuel to the fire. Yeah, I mean, I live in the Bible Belt, so I think it depends who you speak to, but yeah. How do you become a member? I can show you very quickly. So if we go to any video of mine, very, very quickly. I was fast. Did you see that? Did you see that? Yeah, for instance, if you go to my latest video, which I strongly suggest if you haven't watched or you didn't get a notification, The Magnificent Truth, This is how the classical Mediterranean world actually looked like. It's a very nice video. For those that say that I don't do history anymore, there we go, history video right here. Anyways, if we click on it, and you see that there is a join button right next to my name, and this is how you become a member of the channel. If you don't see the join button, then you might need to choose, maybe you're using the phone, you might need to do it on your computer at that point. Kind of depends, but yeah, that's how it is. New video was great. Thank you, Jasper Owens. Appreciate that. I enjoyed making it. I'll tell you that much. It was fun with all the examples of polychromy in ancient Rome. God bless you, Metatron and chat. Thank you, Joshua. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Okay, so I'm going to swap to members now. Let's see what members think. And then if you have questions, even if they're unrelated to the topic of the stream, feel free to ask anything you want. And let's see who's going to be the last regular chat. We're going to swap in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Muppet. Welcome, welcome. So, wow. Of course, the winner is Thunderwing, as almost always. When are you getting a Miss Piggy to go with Kermit? We need to do a Miss Piggy fund. So if any of your donations, whether it be super chats and whatnot, if you want that money to be used to get Miss Piggy, then do let me know and I'll put it into that budget. I appreciate that, Villain Troll, and thank you very much, members, for being here. And as always,
welcome to the inner circle.
Okay, so let me put a different. This guy is great, but maybe we stared at his cool-looking face for long enough. Let me put a different. There we go. Just gonna put the channel for a moment here, and there we go. Let's see. The time is yours, members. Anything you want to talk about? Welcome to the Illuminati, yeah. As long as we're not Illuminati. Metatron is woke? Maybe. is my chair? Oh, yeah, it could be. Yeah, you were gifted a membership. Exactly, Tiny. Good to have you here. This happens a lot during the members-only sections, too. People get gifted memberships. I finally have friends. Well, welcome, welcome. I asked it before, but what's your take on the Lusitanian massacre of the betrayal of Viriatus as a Portuguese, adding identity into culturally Roman but genetically Luso? Yeah, I'm not aware with the details of it, so I don't really have an opinion, unfortunately. Sorry about that. It is an interesting topic, though. I wonder if it's too controversial for YouTube to give me a green dollar sign, though. Might need to make it as a members only. Well, you're a member, so you would see it. So there's that. I like your videos in your second channel with the Spanish accent. Check the accent of the Canary Islands. Canary Islands, Molokai, I see. Yeah, the second channel is fun. Tonight we're going to post a video on the second too. I've been posting every day again. YouTube blocks the word that describes the right person that's rhymed with bud. Really? Oh, that's interesting. I know which one you mean. It's funny because, as I tell you, oftentimes there are days in which I'm the Wokatron and days in which I become the Metachud. Just one of those things. How does one decide the topic of a first show? I'm interested in how you balance such a wide variety of content and if you have any tips for someone wanting to start. Yes. Start with something that you're passionate about, that you love, and possibly that you're competent about. So if you see that other YouTubers are getting famous because they're making videos on a specific topic, but you don't know anything about that topic, I wouldn't suggest to work with that. I would, yeah, Wokachad, that could be me, yeah, exactly, Nerfy on Twitch. So yeah, I would say, what is it? What is something that you're knowledgeable about and that you enjoy discussing, and start producing content on that? That's what I would do as a first thing. And then these days, the more you post, the better. I'll just be honest with you. So I hope you have the time to do it. Minimally twice a week. That's like the base. If you don't post at least twice a week, forget any growth. So these are the first things that I would say when it comes to channel. And yeah, It's it's very easy to make content on things you love. That's what I do with my gaming channel, like my main channel as well. But these are my other channels, by the way. We've got Metatron Academy that is all about languages, and as you see, we are very close to 80,000. In fact, Noble Ones, come on, let's make it happen. Hello, Noble Ones, seriously, let's make it happen, guys. I'm just gonna put the link. Let's hit we can make it. Let's hit 80,000. Let's hit 80,000 right now. Let's do it, guys. Let's do it. It's all about language. It's a good channel, I promise. And I've been posting every day. So that's the one. Metatron's Academy. We are really close to 80,000. Be great, because if I hit 100K, we'll get another play button. Thank you, Jasper Owens, for the Metatron membership. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. You have a gaming channel, but I have not live streamed in about 4 years. Well, no, you don't have to live stream if you don't want to. I just decided to start live streaming a lot more often now, but I haven't live streamed in a long time. I hadn't live streamed, so you don't have to live stream. You can just make videos. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for subscribing to Academy. I appreciate. Man, it would be great to hit that 80K. Boom. So yeah, Academy is the language channel. Hello, Noble Ones. It's all about languages, and it's I mean, I guess, am I too biased to be able to say I think it's a good channel? I think it's a good channel. But anyways, everything language related, it's here. There is a monumental amount of content on it already. And then the other channel that I've been working on and posting every single day is Metatron's Protectorate, where we protect gaming and passions, and it's all about video games. And there is Heroes 3. So that's another one that is good fun, and I've been having. Now this one is so. My wife collaborates with me on this one, so you'll see her quite often, like in this channel. She's adorable, and this video I meant. But yeah, no. So this is fun because I just think of, oh, I like this game. Great, I'll make a video about this game. Like, it's really easy to come up with ideas, as you can see, because basically what I do is yeah, where are we? This is Soma. We always love Soma. Yeah, anyways, I can just go back like this. Yeah. So there we go. So no, what I was saying is that what I do with these channels is that, yeah, I always talk about something that I'm interested in. I try not to make videos on things that I don't like or I'm not interested in at all. Occasionally I'll do it, but I try not to do it, because if it wasn't something that I'm passionate about, we are good luck producing 30 videos a month on Metatron, 30 videos a month on Protectorate, 30 videos a month on Academy. That's 90 videos. Plus, I post 4 times a day on Metatron's clips. Plus, I go live 20 times a month. That's a lot. I lost count. But yeah. So that's that. It is a great channel. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Very good idea on Twitch, we are told. Very good idea to separate the content that way. Yeah, because at the end of the day, I noticed that my regular Metatron channel, because I was doing little gaming, little history, little language, then I was building a varied audience, which was good for the number of subscribers, but then people might be interested in history but not gaming, so they skipped the upload, and that didn't really help. So I decided to specialize. So I made, these are specialist channels. Protectorate, only games. Academy, just languages. And so I did that. Yeah, no, I think I produced something like, even on Clips, as I say, recently. I mean, Clips is easy. You know, Clips is an easy channel to run, but we already have 381 videos on it. And yeah, Clips is good because what we do, we take pieces from live streams that are hours long, and we make the clips of those things that we think you guys would enjoy the most, and then we give it a title so that you can find those, because maybe you would have liked that specific item of discussion from a video or from a live stream VOD, but you can't find it. So sometimes these are sections from like the end of a 30 minutes video that most people didn't watch. And so yeah, Clips is a good way, and we produce 4 videos a day on Clicks. I'm gonna put the link again. Man, I'm putting links everywhere, guys, but yeah. So yeah, I probably you're a boss, thank you. I think I produce like 220 uploads a month, considering all channels, and that's where we're at. Plus, I go live on Twitch in the evenings. I just play games. I forgot that I also do Twitch. Of course, now we are multi-streaming, but I'm everywhere, guys. I want to thank you so much, 44 Rune, by the way, for gifting the subscription. We got 18 subscribers. Twitch is growing very fast, and I'm really glad, because never keep all your eggs in one basket. Imagine that one day my channel explodes on YouTube, meaning that something happened and it gets blocked. Well, I've been growing a community on Twitch, so at least you can find me there, you know? And Patreon, of course. Oh yeah, I post on Patreon too. I even forget how many places I post. Yeah, but I do. So consistency is key, by the way, for YouTube success. That's impressive. I appreciate it, Luis. Here's the thing. Sometimes I notice that some people, and just to give you a little perspective from this side of content creation, sometimes people are like, they look at the channel and they're like, oh, Metatron channel, almost 1 million subscribers, but you don't get like 500,000 views per upload. Is the channel not successful then? Financially it is. How? Because when you post a lot, yes, even if you compensate. So even if each upload doesn't get a huge amount of views, they all add up. So Metatron channel itself, when you look at, and which is the main, and it's not even the others that produce a lot of content, but I'm saying Metatron channel itself, when you see a video and you're like, oh, this video after 4 months got 50,000 views, and you're thinking 50,000 is a little low for a 1 million subscriber channel, right? But every month the Metatron channel produces 4 million views. So because they all add up, right? So strategically, it works really well. I guess from an ego inflating perspective, getting that one odd video that hits 1 million views makes you look like wow, but it's the data that matters, and the analytics show that it's working. All of this is working very well, thanks to you, by the way, because I can do all the analytics on the planet, but if it wasn't for you, I'd be talking to a wall. So thank you, guys. I appreciate Shegorath. Thank you so much. I've also expanded on Kick, by the way, among other things. Yeah. This one has 380. Yeah, the 230 uploads. That's it. Yeah, thank you for the maths. But then again, there is also Twitch. I do also Twitch. So I guess it's probably more than that. But yeah. I wonder what's your view on the Tang Dynasty. Oh, yeah. I love the Tang Dynasty, but my favorite is the Ming. But Tang is probably number 2. Thank you for subscribing. Appreciate that. Yeah, I'm working on the new plushie, which is done, by the way. We have the prototype. It's here. So I'll release the plushie soon. Yeah, I need to make a t-shirt that says, let me be a little pedantic. And then I need to come out with a t-shirt that says, glory to Pompey. I'm going to do both. Yeah, I've just been slow at doing that. And thank you so much, by the way, TYZ Gen, for gifting 5 Metatron subscriptions on Twitch. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for helping me build Twitch as an alternative source of content creation, space, and income. I really appreciate that. Also because I love Twitch. I love playing video games, guys. I love it. It's fun. We've been playing like maniacs. I mean, I finished the entirety of Soma on Twitch. All of it. And that took some time. I also finished Mirror's Edge with chat. I'm planning on finishing Oblivion. It's good fun. So yeah. Can we print it on a toga because you don't wear t-shirts? Sure. I mean, I'll try to. Yeah, actually, luckily the company that we use for merchandise production, the good thing is that once you create a logo or an imprint, then you can literally add it to everything they sell. So you can put it on t-shirts, you can put it on shorts, you can put it on caps. There's everything. Phone. See, I'm gonna put Pompey and the word pedantic on literally everything, guys. Rumble actually invited me to join them, and I have a planned meeting with one of their content strategy, whatever the heck his title is, because I'm everywhere. I am everywhere. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Blue Social. I'm everywhere. I'm literally on if it exists, Metatron is on the platform, just so you know. No problem, Molokai. Have a good one. Spanish Conquistadors. Do I have a video on that? Maybe. Maybe. Who do you use for merch? They're called. See, my wife is better than me when I'm glad she really helps me, by the way, because she's the one who receives emails from sponsors, and that's another thing that we do, of course. But what's the name? Teespring. Teespring is who I use for merchandise. Teespring. But yeah, you'll see it all over the place. But then again, when it comes to my own rings that I produce, it's a collaboration, an ongoing collaboration with Viking Jewelry. So if you go to the Viking Jewelry website, I'll show you in a second because it's kind of fun. You might not know this. You'll find my stuff. Believe it or not, among the many things that I do, I don't even know how. I don't have a 48 hours day, but I kind of do, really. I guess I'm efficient with time management, perhaps. Maybe. Where are they? Google. Found them. So yeah, no, it's kind of fun that this website that is loading now very slowly. Am I on OnlyFans? No, with my name I'm on Holy Fans, not OnlyFans. It's not loading for some reasons. You know what? I think I know the reason, because I'm a problem solver, among other things. Let me solve this problem. I think I solved it. Let's see if it's true. Let's see if I solved it. You Muppets. In the meantime, I do want to say thank you to Safety Pin for subscribing with Prime. Thank you so much. On Pornhub. Oh no. Yeah, it doesn't load. Let me try it again. Wonder why it doesn't load. Maybe they have some problems with their website. It's possible. I mean, it happens. Yeah, I'm trying to click it again, but it doesn't seem like it's... Oh yeah, it worked. Okay, good. The problem solvatron. So Viking Jewelry, it's an awesome... you know, a lot of creators, me, Scalagrim, Shad, I think we all worked with them. But specifically with me, they have one thing, that if you go into the rings section, and let me see, ring of... There we go. That's me. That's me, you Muppets. That's me. So, yeah, so we have the Ring of the Noble One. And we have several... I made this, but everything is me. I created everything. The design, the words, the Latin. And like bronze is the one that is the most affordable. This one here. I wear this, by the way. And when we created this, we made sure to put a lot of availability. So it's available in bronze, this. It's available in gold, which is this one here. For the subscribers of more discerning means. And then we have it in silver. And that's it when it comes to materials available. I think two types of gold, actually, now that I think about it. Anyways, when I created the design, the idea behind this was, so custos veritatis, and it has, you can't really see it here, but it has the phonemic vowel length expressed. It means guardians of truth, and which is really the basis of the platform. And then this shield is my favorite type of medieval shield. We found it specifically in iconography to justify this shape. And then you have the wings, which represents Metatron has spread his wings, the channel logo. So it's a cool... I'm happy that I produce my own rings. I'm just happy about it. And yeah, so I'll just... Last link, I promise. Worldwide shipping, yeah. And returns. If there is anything that doesn't work, we provide returns and whatnot. And yeah, so the ring is pretty cool. The ring is pretty cool. I don't have a heater shield, believe it or not. I need to buy one from, what's his name? Holy Fancy, yeah, I know. I need to buy one from Todd. Yeah. So that's gonna get my hands on that. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. You know, it happened. I ran into a person and I saw the ring. And before they saw me, I was like, Noble One? And it was like, oh, that happened. We took a picture together. It was great. So yeah. Oh, absolutely, Pensum. Yeah, whatever question you have, guys, just feel free to ask. And absolutely. My favorite areas are Zhou Dynasty, so really ancient. And then Tang also is my second favorite area. Yeah. Man, Zhou is like, yeah, totally. Metatron, it's late. I have to sleep, but get a kick and make videos about the Spanish conquistadors. I do have kick already. I'm expanded onto kick as well. I'm there. I'm everywhere. As I say, I've expanded everywhere. Like they just can't get rid of me, can they? But honestly, I do that precisely because of my dedication to I will tell it how it is no matter what could get me in potential trouble. And so I have to be as expanded as possible, growing independent, thriving communities. Well, it's still you, of course, but I'm saying in independent sections. And I will make my own website at one point. I will. It's just one thing at a time, I guess. Number one secret society, pretty much. Yeah, spreading my wings. That's the whole thing with the yeah. So absolutely. But it's been fun. Never use OnlyFans. Yeah, no, not my kind of content. Plus, I'm married. I don't even married to a gorgeous woman. What do I need it for? Yeah. But as I say, yeah, holy fan would be the thing. But then again, if I do become instead, since I am a metalhead, if I ever create my own band, it will be called the Metatron. The Metatron. Yeah, I know 69 is a funny number for that price, right? Unfortunately, the reason why I wouldn't be able to lower the price, what I can do is that I can give occasional discounts as we approach some kind of holiday, then we do give the discounts. Because the thing is that this price includes obviously their cut, because they need to get a cut, the production, the making, and the material. So when you see that of course, all of this and my cut, so there's a lot, and taxes. So taxes are included though. That's one thing that I appreciate with Viking jewelry. I hate it when shops show you a price, but it's before taxes. So you think, okay, it's not too bad. You click it and then boom. I hate it. So at least it looks a little high, but taxes are included. Do consider that. I will try to tell them if we can produce a steel one, because at the moment, the bronze is the lowest tier, meaning price range. But if we produced a steel version, that could give an option for people who are a little bit on unlimited budget. So we'll... and by the way, the cut they take is very reasonable. They're being pretty good. Yeah. But yeah, so this is not just that I get $69. No, we got to pay for the material. We need to pay for the craftsmanship. But it's still good. I mean, the first time we launched this and I made a video about it, the return was actually very good. I think I made something like, oh gosh, I don't remember, $14,000 when we first launched this. But it was like a year and a half ago. It was very successful. People loved it. So there are a lot of these around. But then again, we did sell a couple of golden ones too. Like people went full in, which I really appreciated. Thank you, Dinky Kung64. You say, I don't join streams often. I hope you are doing well, Metatron. I wish I could afford that ring. No problem, and thank you very much. And as I say, whatever I can do to help, I will. And so I will see if I can convince them to make a steel one. We'll have a little meeting about it and we'll see if we can do it. Also, another thing that I think I'll start doing is I will start gifting some of these. So we'll work on it. We'll work on it at one point. It's just that these things take time. And yeah. Yeah, Holy Fans is brilliant with a name like Metatron and the angel stuff, of course. And I would probably pronounce it like this. Welcome to my Holy Fans. How about that? Metatron Holy Fans. Let's go. Putting the ring design onto t-shirts, it's not a bad idea. I like how your mind works. Consider it. Not a bad idea at all. I also have the idea for a jade ring. Man, I would love it. I don't know if they have access to that though, because the bronze is actually made in Spain. I know where they make the bronze because I've got a little connection. So yeah, so I don't know where they where the heck they would take Jade, but I agree. I think if we do a second kind of marketing campaign for this, make a couple of dedicated videos or mentioning it on successful videos, and this goes very well, we could actually go into start making maybe pendants. What do you guys think of the idea of a pendant while we're at it as an option? Yeah, Jade is gorgeous. You know, if we have a girl, we are thinking of naming her Giada, which is the Italian word for jade. Giada. So we are thinking of that name with the wife. She likes it. I like it as well. It's a nice name in Italian. It is a name in Italian, just like in English. You think a pendant would be really nice? Yeah, I think so too, Melanie. We've been considering the possibility of a pendant, and we already have 4 designs, but we don't have a prototype like we did for the ring, so we would have to first, but I first wanted to know what you guys thought about it. Yeah. But yeah, the idea of a jade ring, man, it would be great. I don't know who I would have to partner with, though. Only Pasta, yeah, exactly. I'm a member of Only Pasta, guys. Anyways, let me open chat to everyone again, and I think we're getting towards the end of the stream a little bit, so that I can go make that famous pasta, since let's see who's gonna get the first regular chat, and then I'm gonna go make some pasta in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Did I do it? No, I didn't. Did it freeze? I think it froze. No, it didn't do it. Okay, sorry. One second, it kind of froze. Oh, it did do it. Okay, it was just a little lag. Just a little lag, that's fine. Yeah. Welcome, guys. And the winner is, as always, you know it already. Man, you're gonna become famous if you continue like this. Thunderwing, KL, has got a gold medal. Melanie has got a silver medal. I think you got a silver the other day. Or was it a bronze? Alios gets bronze medal. Pastatron, thank you very much. What kind of pasta? I'm thinking of making some fresh fettuccine with some pesto. Yeah. Have you ever mixed pesto genovese, the green one, with a little bit of like white sauce, meaning, well, we call it panna in Italian. How the heck do you call it? Or even bechamel. It's great. It's really good. It makes it a little softer. Pesto is great. Wow, you even made it with a disadvantage. You rolled with a disadvantage in D&D terms. No, you're not blocked, Veronica. You're here. No, why would I block you? You're great. You're always in my streams. You call it white sauce. That's what I thought. Yeah, so if you mixed white sauce and pesto, you can do 50-50 if you want. It makes it for a more silky, slightly less pungent sauce, and it's pretty good. It's very easy. You don't even need to apply heat. Just mix them. It's great. Yeah, I think the pendant idea is pretty good. Absolutely. Yeah, jade was very used in China, absolutely. They did the jade suits for the dead, which look amazing. Yeah, exactly. Copper alloy medal. The copper alloy medal. My wife likes Alfredo. I'm okay with Alfredo. I can eat it. I'm not against Italian American as long as you don't put chicken in it. The chicken belongs in the freaking farm, as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to pasta. So yeah. If you're ever in Los Angeles, I recommend going to the Last Bookstore. I bought a book about Rome that was about from the 1930s. Ooh, that's amazing. Yeah, still going strong. I am getting a little hungry though, so I need to go and start making some good pasta. Yeah, it's always Thunderwing. This guy is fast. Thunderwing is a ninja. I know I'm going to Olive Garden. We're going probably either the end of this week or next week. We're going to probably next week. Yeah, next week we're going to Olive Garden because people donated for it. I said it as a joke. I said, guys, if you hit the $50 donation, don't worry, I can fix this. If you hit the $50 donation, I'm going to Olive Garden and I'll film it. And of course, someone, boom, $50. And I'm like, you gotta be joking. So, so now I have to go. Now I have to go because I'm a man of my word. So my wife is gonna take me to Olive Garden, and you'll watch me explode. No, I won't live stream it. I don't want to mess with people who are working with live streaming. No, I'll film it though, and I'll make a video. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. They're gonna piss me off, aren't they? I think they're gonna piss me off, but I'll try. Yeah, my wife said Olive Garden is Italian McDonald's. Yeah, but it's not even Italian. Like, at least McDonald's is American. I think, I don't know. Maybe I'll find something. My thing will not be that I'm going to Olive Garden expecting it to be like Italian food is normally in Italy. Of course not. But my mission will be, let's see if I can find one thing that I really like. That's going to be my mission. So we're going to order some stuff. Yeah, I had carabas a few times. It's good. It's just that it's a lot of salt. Like, I like the lasagna, but it's salty. Too much salt. 1 second. All right, guys. It's time to go make the pasta. But I do want to say thank you to All Hail Pompey from Snoopy. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for the super chat. And yeah, no, I'm going to go to make some food, guys. So thank you very much for being here. Today with a man bun, among other things, but whatever. So thank you for being here. I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm not going to live stream because it's Friday, but I might live stream in the evening on Twitch just for gaming, because I do those on Saturday. And yeah, no, but I'll see you for my regular uploads on all of the million of platforms. And thank you very much for being here. And thank you for allowing me to learn from you and from teaching me about the situation, and particularly with the war, and particularly all of the different channels and creators that you told me that I should check out. I definitely will. So I appreciate that. And as always, I pray for the safety of the innocents, whether it be in Israel, whether it be in Palestine, or whether it be in Iran. Children, innocent people, I pray that they stay safe. And apart from that, thank you for being here. Have a good one. Ciao, ciao, ciao. Good night.